All right, we're back. Give me just a couple of seconds. Somehow, I think Rob might have hit a wrong button. Not for sure, but we lost the live stream. So we're trying to. I'm trying to set up a couple of links here so that we can get back into the stream. Let me send him a invite, and we'll be back. So exciting! He was down there, and we are getting firsthand information from the town hall. So we are back. If you were in here before, hopefully you'll join back with us, or if you were fixing to join, we are trying to get that set up. I think I got everything. So I had to let the other stream load up, and then I had to come back and send him a new link so that he can be back in here. Let me get a couple things back up here. We have a lot of little things going on. So. But welcome to the SFP News Desk Live. Again, this is our part of the Southern Fried Podcast, political part of our podcast. We cover politics, and we usually come in on Sunday night. I was sick Sunday night, so this is sort of a makeup, but it's special because we also were in Robertson, Donaldsonville with a Stop the Monkey Farm Town Hall at the Osceola Hotel, historic hotel there. He's got hats. He's already talked to some folks. He was trying to get some video for us. Hopefully he's able to record or whatever. Maybe he's figured out by now that, and I'm going to have to text him and let him know that. And because he's inside and I don't know if he did it or if the place did it or so anyway. So apologize for that. But that's what happens when you have live video going on, and we are excited to be there. We lost signal with him once, and then somehow the live got killed. That could have just been the technology, could have been my end. We don't know. A lot of things can happen. So we're back. We're live. We're going to talk a lot about some different things tonight, including that. And so remember, if you're not familiar with this particular issue down in Bainbridge, Georgia, there's been a move to bring in what they call a monkey farm or a monkey breeding facility. It's been called a monkey farm. And I did not realize just how much testing goes on primates and stuff. I'm not for that myself. We have reached out to the other side of this. We're trying to get information on all sides. PETA has been involved. But anyway, what they do is they want to build this facility, hold up to 30,000 monkeys, and then those will be sold and sent to labs across the United States, maybe even further. I don't know. And used for testing. I'm just not for that. So a large group of concerned citizens has, along with PETA, has been coming against this. They have also some court proceedings, and there's decisions on that decision on that should be any day now, according to the developmental authority head, and I don't remember his name right off the top of my head, that we talked to, and he said he would come on once the court case was over. This is in Bainbridge, Georgia, so South Georgia. And there are folks from Tallahassee and other surrounding areas. They're in Donaldsonville, which is about a half an hour from there now. I'm just trying to get the information out and letting people know what's going on with this. So a couple of issues. One, the town's about 15,000. They want to hold up to 30,000 monkeys. It's being built near some homes, and these folks have lived there a long time. They don't like that. They don't like the idea of animal testing. And they don't like the idea of the waste that's going to be coming off of these monkeys released into their treatment facilities, and can they even handle that much? There's a lot, EPA, different stuff. So they've been getting a campaign out to stop this. And there was a Tallahassee news station which has covered this some, and it has had national news, Fox, and some others, but they haven't been involved in a while. We got involved just because we heard about it and started digging, and they've been great. And we did about an hour, I think it was 40 minutes or an hour interview with one of the members, and we have that video out there. It's been the biggest video we've ever released as far as plays and views and shares and everything. I think this touches a lot of people about animal, cruelty and stuff, and that they don't really need that now. But anyway, there's a company called SHM, I believe it is, Safer Human Medicine. I hope I said that right. I think it's Safer Human Medicine that is behind this. And of course, they're against it. So they're having a town hall tonight, and they're having several topics. Robert is there. He tried to go live with us, and we lost him once and lost the whole feed twice. So he's probably just going to get some video, and then we're hoping to get interviews as well. Hey, Mike, appreciate you liking. I'm sure more and more people come in here, and of course we'll be sharing it out. It's been a big day for us, like I said, as part of the news arm. We did do an interview earlier, which is on already released. We got that out as soon as we could. We've been working all afternoon to get on all the streams. Our interview with elections deputy director, assistant director, deputy director. I don't remember if she said assistant or just deputy director. Yeah, Mike, we've just decided to come on. We talked about it all day. We didn't set up the stream earlier because we were trying to. Actually, we were doing an interview at 2, and then we had a lot of things we were trying to get that interview out, and we decided. I was trying to set up some other stuff, and I said, "Ooh, I got to let people know this." So hopefully people will see it, but you'll also see the recording. Yeah, Mike Robert come in live. We lost him there. He's at the town hall, and then he come back. He was actually recording for us the event. We didn't lose Rumble, but I don't know if we had video, but I could hear the audio. But I had to end it to restart everything. So we're on all of our streams right now, including Instagram, which I think we're just now learning how to use. And hopefully I just flipped over there and it is showing. So we're on about 8 different streams right now. So this is our the Southern Fried Podcast, SFP. Hello, Daniel. This is our news portion of we cover politics, and elections and all that. And it's normally Sunday night, but we missed Sunday night. So we're back in tonight. And we are going to talk, or I am going to talk, not only about the town hall. Robert will be checking in. And I'm sure even after the program, we're going to have some interviews that we'll be loading up, pictures from the event where there was a speaker that just started speaking when we had to cancel that part of the feed. And I have sent him a re-invite. He's welcome to try again. He'll probably just wait a little bit because it's kind of echoey and noisy in there. But actually the sound was not bad right before we lost him. But along with that, we're going to talk about the election. Absolutely. That's what we were talking about earlier with Catoosa County elections, and that's already out there talking about dates and different things. I haven't had a chance to really talk about on this particular program, the assassination attempt. There's news late tonight that's coming out that there's actually some, and I haven't had a chance to research it. If you know, throw it in the chat. But that according to one member of Congress, there may be as many as 5 assassination teams in the nation going after former President Trump. Would anybody doubt it after what we've seen? So that's not verified. I don't know that. Don't know where they got the information. It wouldn't shock me. I was just talking to a gentleman that just recently I began to work with, and he come to ask me about the attempt on his life again. And he's young, he's a voter. I think it's maybe his first vote. It's certainly his first vote for president. His family's originally from the Philippines. He is a citizen, and anyway, he's concerned too. And I think most people are. It's an alarming time in our nation. There's a lot going on with the elections as we get down to what they call the brass tacks of it all, and we're going to see. Yeah, from YouTube. Well, that's one of our live streams, YouTube, and we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, Kick, Twitch, of course, Instagram. And I think one other, and I forget which one. So we try to get them all set up, and most of it's not bad, but it's kind of like herding cats a little bit. Rumble and Instagram are sort of the outliers. Well, Rumble's not bad. We just have to set it up ahead of time a little differently than the others. Instagram is very different, but I'm learning how to work with that. And I thought we were actually going out live before. I think this may be the first time because I kind of figured out how to do it. It was recording it. There may be recordings out there. I don't think it went up live, but anyway, yeah, politics and what's going on with politics, and we were talking about Elections Day. Really got my mind on it, and this is what it's all about. America speaking out. These folks down there, this resistance movement from Bainbridge, Georgia, and surrounding areas that are very active, and they're trying to stop something they don't believe should come in their community. And that's the rights we have. They're a peaceful people. They're just trying to get the news out. They're taking legal measures as allowed, and they're trying to do that. By the way, Daniel, I'm glad we did pray for you today and your wife's surgery and everything. So we appreciate you letting us know that she was okay. I know those are always tough days when you have something like that go on. So I certainly understand that. But yeah, we've got, politics is being affected by a lot of things. The ongoing Middle East crisis. Me and Robert had a good debate last night, and we can do that. We can take both sides of an issue and just hammer it out. And and I think that makes for the best viewing is if you have point counterpoint. We both mostly agree on stuff. I won't say that we do disagree on maybe some things, small things. For the most part, we agreed, and I think we do agree. We were really trying to stress those pointers out last night and just get a good conversation out there. Because Israel is at war, and Town Hall has a headline. Did we just see the worst vote against Israel from the UN? Well, UN's always been against Israel, and they've always been voting against them. But there was a significant vote, and I did make mention of this. So this is definitely political. It will affect the administration that is, and it will affect the administration that's to come. And so Town Hall, I want to give full credit here to Rebecca Downs, who wrote this. But on Wednesday, the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, voted overwhelmingly with a vote of 124 to 14 to strip away Israel's right to self-defense in the region. This is what I was saying last night. I thought, Israel, they're always held to a higher standard, but this latest attack, not that this will go anywhere, but it trends in a bad direction for them. It said that they're calling for the IDF, that's the Israeli Defense Forces, to withdraw to pre-1967 territory lines. That's not going to happen. That gives up a whole lot of land. They've already gave up land. They're not giving up this land. That's not going to happen. And they are going to strip or not, they're going to defend themselves, right? It did not mention October 7th terrorist attack perpetuated by Hamas. The resolution was not only supported by 124 members, but by the body's Secretary General. As the Jerusalem Post reported, the United Nations General Assembly on Wednesday voted 124-14 to strip Israel of the right to self-defense against Palestinian terrorism in the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem. Well, what do you expect them to do? But they're saying they don't want them in those areas, self-defense within those areas. So there's a text to that. It was based on and I've said this from the beginning, way back in 1998 when the ICC, the International Criminal Court, came in, as they said, into power. I said this way back then that this court would be a problem. Now they mostly have kept themselves to war criminals like in Bosnia and other places, and brought those people to justice. But this to me, and that's just David speaking, I think this is the legal arm of a future Antichrist power. Anyway, they based this resolution on the International Court of Justice's advisory opinion in July that Israel's occupation, again, notice the words, occupation of Palestinian territory was illegal. And so they have made this declaration. There were 43 countries that abstained, so they did not vote. The United States was one of the 14 countries that voted against the resolution. The UN Secretary, and I'm not reading every single word. I wanted to capture a few things out of this article. The United States Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield, on Tuesday called out how the resolution refuses to address the reality that Israel, a United Nations member state, simply has a right to protect and defend its people from acts of terror and violence. Despite the fact that Hamas just upended ceasefire negotiations by brutally murdering 6 hostages, and despite the fact that Hamas continues to use civilians as human shields in Gaza, this resolution does not include any measures to pressure Hamas to heed Security Council Resolution 2735. Accept the deal on the table and implement it without delay or further conditions She also said highlighting the butchery of Hamas. So this was a very strong, by the UN resolution against them. Now, it's not going to change anything in the short run. These things are going to continue to happen, and they're at war against terror. So I get that. So this does affect our. And again, the world seems to be blowing up while we're, 50 days or so, whatever, from the election, and less than that till, early voting. I mean, we're just really quickly going towards that. And if you saw our interview today, you heard those dates. But yeah, so this is going to affect the administration that is in, which seems to be in chaos. Honestly, who's running things, who's doing things. Of course, they would say that Biden's run the country, but it's, from where? I mean, what is he doing? We don't see a whole lot. We see her speaking out a little bit more now, prepared statements and stuff. But this thing with Israel and then the whole Russia-Ukraine definitely could become an issue. So, and yeah, you're right, Tarman. They don't. And so I know Israel is trying to weaken their ability to wage terror, and then eventually will have to. They just can't continue to do that. That's what I was saying across the line. When you start, anyway, we went through that last night. I don't want to rehash the whole thing, but when you go into nations and you start, once the collateral damage starts piling up, there's a lot of people that will, lose heart with that, and it can be used as a battering ram against you. So I'm glad to see the United States is staying pro. They didn't abstain. I mean, they did vote against it, but obviously it passed. Again, I don't think that goes anywhere. I don't think it does anything against Israel. Doesn't stop Israel, but it is a rallying cry is what it is. It's a rally against Israel. So we see that, and of course the assassination attempt on President Trump, and what a crazy story that was, and still trying to gather information out of that, and what's going on with this case, and does it just one guy? And we've seen they scrubbed his accounts pretty fast. They didn't want to. They want to make sure nobody had the ability to get more than they did. There were people that captured some of that stuff pretty fast. I was kind of amazed that the name come out as fast as it did. I think it's because of the heat they took the last time. They wanted to be out in front of this, but in doing that, people were able to get to those. You get to those social media sites and screen capture a lot of information, which showed who he supported and some of the crazy things he said. So, great work in this case. Secret Service, they, didn't kill him, but shot at him. He fled. Had him a little, back in the old days, we call that a machine gun nest with GoPro, backpacks, weapon, ammo, and fled and then was captured later. I think, I remember right, North Carolina. I think we're wanting to, and I'm going to be covering North Carolina on our Southern Talk. That'll be this week too, our first episode of that. We're going to be rolling that out. We're going to be covering North Carolina, and that's also a state that is a toss-up, or so it seems. That's what the numbers say, and it could be Georgia, North Carolina, definitely those kinds of states, and North Carolina has swung many different ways, but they've got a governor battle that's heating up there, and they are coming after him really hard. I'm going to be covering that on the Southern Talk, and that show's not just politics; it'll be a lot of things, but it is. We're going to go to different states, North Carolina, and there is, there's a lot of heat on that race, and they're really trying to rip, the candidate, the African American candidate up there. Well, because he's a Christian, I think a preacher, he's conservative, and all those things. They don't want anybody to get a footing there, so they try to destroy. So yeah, and this if this is true, and I don't know if it's true or not, that there's these assassination teams in the country. against him, but it wouldn't shock me. You know, it would not shock me at all. And I don't know where that news came from, but that was definitely put out there, that there, was or are those teams. Now, again, that may not be the case now, but it could be. And there's definitely, I don't think any of us on the conservative side would be surprised that there is a movement by some to hurt him and, stop him. So much disinformation, so much, maneuvering, and really both sides, but the media is working overtime to try to cause voter dissatisfaction, fear mongering, different kind of things. Now they're trying to throw this out there that Trump was a landslide, but now that since Kamala's there, it's a landslide her way. Don't believe all that mess. Get out and vote. I know people that are first time voting, and they're voting for Trump. And there's a lot of there's a lot of independents that are swinging Trump's way. The initial bump, I think, is okay. Government Terror Watch said that there were 5 groups targeting Trump. Well, and that's I don't think that would surprise any of us, Tarman, that they are. And they need to put one heck of a protective bubble around him and his family. And I know they have protection there, but you can hurt the man by the family too. I mean, we know that as dads and husbands and grandpas and whatever else. I mean, I'm sure that's a concern to him. I mean, well, how could it not be? And a concern for himself. And so here's, had one bullet that just barely missed by the grace of God. Another one that he was zeroed in. If they hadn't saw that this time, we would hope that the divine hand comes down again and moves the bullets out of the way. But very real possibility we could have been seeing him, slain on his own golf course there. And what else is? And we're not, we're still a little ways out, and it's getting closer. And as we were saying today, that during our election talk here about, the state of Georgia and specifically Catoosa County was safety for everybody, the poll workers, the candidates, the voters themselves. I think we all have concerns. Now, I live in a very conservative area, and I'm not going to say never because you never say never, but I don't see that being something that will happen here. But who's to say? We just really don't know, do we? So, things are heating up, and there's a lot of money being poured out. I mean, they're pouring the ads left and right, and now they've got the little girl up there, and they're trying to really hammer on that part because they really want to drive. The left loves to drive the abortion, and no matter what's going on, we could be falling apart everywhere else. They're going to drive that. That's going to be one of their number one metrics that's going to be out there, to drive a wedge to try to swing female voters away from Trump by using that tactic. And of course, that was a big. It was going to come out in the debate, and it's always going to be coming out. And so you're starting to see of attack ads and the tearjerker ads and stuff like that, and horrible things happen. But they never answer the question, do they? They never answer the question. Yeah, horrible things happen to good people. They do. Well, how much more horrible can it be for a human being to be killed, to be slain? That's viable, and there's nothing wrong with it, and it can live on its own. It's just waiting to be born and to kill that. They don't want to answer that question. They want to talk about other people. And yes, those are horrible, horrible things. But so the answer is to kill. The answer is to kill a life. That's one of the, and President Trump, as I said, he doesn't like to really go down that road. He knows it's a snare. He knows it's a bomb in his way, a trap, a pothole, whatever you want to say. He knows that, and he knows how it's going to be used. Yes, perilous times are. Amen, brother. So yeah, there's always going to be those kind of things they're doing. Of course, they like to scare them about Social Security, pensions, health care, all those things are the scare tactics. Now they're trying to. The latest one is the mass deportation. They're trying to put a lot of fear in people. Of course, the locking up of people that his opponents, people he don't like, which is, by the way, exactly what many on the left have said they would love to do to MAGA and all conservatives. Didn't hear the media really jumping in arms on that, did you? But yeah, I mean, here he is, and Trump the train keeps rolling on. I have said, and I said before the debate, that his messaging needs to improve some. I think it's been good, not great, and I think he needs to stay on point. And he needs to hammer the border. He needs to hammer the economy. He needs to hammer, these wars that the world is blowing up. The danger of World War III. Definitely needs to do that. He's got, he don't need to be spending time over here debating climate change and, some of the other things that they're, the 2025 Project 2025 and all these other things. He did a good job, I think, of deflecting off of that and pivoting from it. I think that was a good move by him because you knew that, and everybody knew they was going to do it. They said they were going to do it. So, I don't see any other debates happening. I think it's just going to continue to be rallies and campaigns, the stumping across the nation. I think the town halls, Tarman, I think the town hall, excuse me, got tar and town confused there. The town halls are working good for him, and those are good settings for him. Excuse me, I have to wet my whistle, as they say. Mouth dries out as I talk. But he does need to have that. He needs to have good settings. I think he does good in the sit downs where he's really able to just talk in a way that it really connects. That's why I say he rallies are good for him, but it becomes it kind of rehashes a lot of things. The rallies are a lot the same. I get it's like a band. You go from town to town to town, but the problem is they have, they're replaying these video. Everybody's videotaping it, but a band goes town to town to town. They play fairly close to the same set list every night. I get it. They might change up a little bit. Kind of the same for him. And at this point, there's not really a whole lot going to be added in. I mean, you're not going to rewrite the whole campaign right now. But what I mean by the messaging, I think he can narrow the focus in on some of those points and not be so broad in them sometimes, and look in the camera and state exactly. And I think it'd probably be a good idea to stay away from. And listen, I'm not saying that those things don't happen or didn't happen or is not happening, but I think he needs, we don't have to go to animals being eaten or whatever. That's a horrible story. And I guess from all I guess it did happen, but they really jump on that and they try to rescue her by jumping on him, and they'll talk about his crazy, zany, he must be mental. He comes out with these crazy ideas. He don't need that. All he's got to do is stay on what is absolutely out there. They can't not deny the mess they've created. He doesn't need to get out here and jump into something that could be, because they're going to say, where'd you hear that? Well, we've talked to officials and they didn't say that. He has to be careful with that. We say, and that was a bad moment on TV when he said, well, I saw it on TV. He wasn't ready to answer that question. And I think he was just intending to use it as a zinger, and it kind of come back on him. I think he needs to, that's my opinion. Again, I'm welcome to it. You're welcome to yours. I think he needs to just, again, narrow that focus and really hammer on the economy, the grocery process. I said one of the ads they should have is absolutely a shopper going through a store with a fixed income budget and have an amount and go around and just, pick up some processes and, look how high they are and have a couple of kids standing there and having to make the tough choices and medicine of what you're going to get. And I think that would be really wise for him to do. And I think he could get a lot of play out of that. Definitely show the border. Definitely show the border. Show the problems. Talk about the Lake and Raleighs and the basically the release of criminals back into the streets they won't do anything with. The sanctuary cities. Where's that story went? I haven't heard as much about that. Let's hammer the sanctuary cities again. Let's get back on that. Yes, cover foreign diplomacy because they're going. They're trying to act like she's some great foreign diplomat. But let's quit. He's rehashed the same stories about Xi and Putin, and okay, it has its place. Let's talk about something that's more current. Let's talk about what it is. This is what I'm going to do day one. We're getting close enough to the election. Quit going backwards and looking back. You can say, look at my record. I did this, this, and this. But what am I going to do day one? Because I want to look forward. Where are we at right now? This is the mess we're in. And then go forward and say, this is what I'm going to do day one. Now, one of the best things he did off that debate, and of course they tried to mock it, but one of the best things he did was he said, y'all have the power of the pen. You have the power of the pen. Go wake Joe up, get down to the Oval Office and take the pen and sign it right now and close the border. Let the border guards, Rangers do their job. They do a great job. That was a great moment for him. They hated that. I hated it. And I would run that ad. You remember back in the campaign with Hillary? I think it was Hillary, wasn't it, where they had the phone ringing and who do you want picking up the phone? Man, where's that at? I mean, let's get that. You could, the phone's ringing and Joe's asleep. And you don't even hear the phone ring. That'd be one of my ads. And then I'd have another one with her picking it up and cackling and then saying, well, I don't know. I mean, word salad, just have her saying a bunch of stuff like weird stuff like, well, I don't know, I've got to fix some cereal. And, where's that? Hire me today. I'll get you some ads, needs to work harder unifying the Republican Party. And I know there's problems. I know there's rhinos, but it's all hands on deck. You don't have to be the best friends with everybody on the deck, but you need those people on deck. You got to get them flowing that way. It's good that, listen, everybody knows that Governor Kemp and here in Georgia and President Trump don't care for each other, never will, but they're playing nice. That's what you do. You got to stop all this. It's just everything's on the line. Stop the petty stuff. You can deal with all that later. I find two things he definitely needs to do, and I know he's done a little bit of it. Ramaswamy, he needs to figure out something with this guy quick. He's very sharp, and I know he's used him on the campaign trail. He needs to do more of that, but I would start shaping some stuff because I think he can really bring in the young vote. Then he's got to do something with the Nikki Haley voters, and they've really. I'm not going to say ignored that. I'm not the expert. I'm not following around President Trump every moment of every day. I do work and raise a family and do podcasts and different stuff. But that's sort of a story that sort of died. That was really hot and heavy when they were wanting her to step down and, out of the race and all that. And I was listening live the night she did step down and, they were voters, Nikki Haley voters said, I'll never vote for him. I'll vote for Joe. Well, Joe can't be voted on. And then that's another point that I would keep hammering. And he done that. He did a pretty good job of all the Biden supporters. They stole your vote from you. You were voting for this guy. Now they just stole it. And now they're running the narrative. And technically they could say that Joe stepped down. And they're running this now. They've tried to make him a hero. He stepped out of the way. No, he was forced out. Don't let the media get away with that. He didn't step down. It wasn't voluntary. He was threatened with everything. And I mean everything. I really believe that was, it was bad. I mean, look, he's angry. You can tell. Where's Jill? She's really angry. Hunter's trying to, he's trying to come out of this thing the best he can because he's not sure where any help's going to come. You can tell how concerned they are by what Hunter's doing about the case and the trial and everything. Changing pleas and all that. So things are happening rapidly and they're going to continue to speed up, but got to keep that narrative out there, and continue to hammer home the points. I mean, there's, don't have so many, be ready to talk about those things, but narrow that focus down to about the top 5 things and really the top 3 things. But let's say it's 5. These are the 5 things. These get attention the very first day I'm sworn in, and I'll have the pen in hand, and there's going to be executive orders, and I'm going to start, and the border will be one, and some ways to alleviate the mess of the economy, and whatever it is that he's going to do, he needs to really focus on that and hammer on it. So, I just think that there's, they're trying to trip him up, and they hope if they throw enough daggers, he'll say something they can take and twist and pull out of context and use it as a battering ram to hurt him. And there'll be a lot of that late. And foreign entities have been, obviously, they've been trying to influence this election. There was already, I think, in Georgia. I don't have my magazine in front of me. I may take a break in just a minute. Actually, I may have it. I don't know. Let me see. And I told you about my magazine that I really like to get out of Georgia, out of Atlanta, called The James. and there was a little article in there. Oh, I think I have it. And the James Magazine, and I'd sort of missed this, and they do a good job. And this one is about lobbying and education and different things. I think this is the one that just came out. I hope so. It may not be this one. If it's not, I have it in the other room, and I'll get it in a break. But they were talking about these foreign. I don't think this is the one. I think it's probably going to be my other one. So I'll have to go get that one. And because it talks about foreign entities that come in, we're trying to skew voters' opinions and stuff, and they had misrepresented themselves, and Georgia took action against them. But just goes to show, it's not this one. This is this because the other one is the lobbyist, and this is the one for education. So I will get that in a break. I think I have it laying in the other room. I don't think I took it to work. I hope not. If I did, we'll have it Sunday night. But it's definitely something that they're going to do. And with all the electronics and all the social medias, and they set up some fake stuff and tried to influence voters. Well, we're going to see a lot of that. So and we need more play like this. I mean, Trump surprises young boy with rare brain disorder with special present. And so it's been out there for about a week, and it's funny because the guy I was talking to at work, they have the same first name. He has a rare brain disorder, growth hormone deficiency. He wrote a letter to him, wishing him a happy 8th birthday, which brought the boy to tears as he read the note out loud. Following his sweet reaction to the Trump letter, Liam received the ultimate birthday gift from the former president during his Wednesday night or New York rally on Wednesday night. His family was invited to the Trump rally as VIP guests, where they got the chance to meet the president. And that's good stuff. You have to have that. That's good campaigning right there to do stuff like that. He does that stuff anyway. He's just doing it for votes. Well, he does that kind of thing all the time. You just don't always hear about it, but sure, it helps. You want those positive responses out there, but can't we just, whatever the reason, the little boy got blessed, and it meant a lot to him. And, I think that's a good thing. So kudos for Town Hall for covering that story. And, he need those. There's one other one here. I'm going to flip to something else here in a minute. But they have another story. Guess who could be coming back if Kamala wins? They have a picture of Hillary. Lord help us. 47 days away. And she's obviously being looked at for a cabinet position. And this is about the time where they start talking about stuff like that, because then they want to sort of, well, who would you put in those positions? They want to peck at them and pick them apart and say, well, that would be horrible or whatever. So it's a little early for too much of it to be put in place, but not too early to start talking about potentials. And I think that there's a lot of people wanting Elon Musk to be considered for something. Now, I don't know if he would do it or not. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. That's the kind of talk you get right now, and you get a lot of information coming your way about who might be a good secretary of this or be in his inner cabinet or whatever it would be. Of course, I know a lot of that is filled after the election. Oops, sorry, I need to take that down. But we have potential names to be used. I mean, we know J.D. Vance, but then there's other people that, like a Ramaswamy, possibly even Nikki Haley. I don't rule it out, because I really think if she would agree to something, they would find something that would help. It might help swing some voter her way. So, we'll try to take this down, and we don't have to hear that clanging, banging, and all that. That's from something else I had up. So, my fault. But 47 days away. It's just flying by. I mean, here we are, we're right at another weekend, and all the news. There'll be the Sunday morning shows. Don't forget about those. A lot of politics discussed on Sunday morning on the 3-letter networks and some of the others. I just think you really get a lot of that. I like to take articles. I don't listen to what they say on face value. You take it and start reading in between the lines, because there's always a narrative there. And when you can take that narrative, you can really start to see some of the things they're kind of looking to. and they're not really good at, especially on the left, they're not really good at hiding some of that. They use code words and stuff, but if you really know the lingo, then you know exactly what they're talking about doing. They just say it in a different way so it sounds softer. I remember once I took a short speech that Hillary did way back in the day, and I asked someone to read it, and just a everyday guy. I said, read that. And I said, well, what do you think about it? He said, well, I don't sound too bad. You know, I don't like her, but I don't sound too bad. I said, really? And he said, no, I think it's all right. So I said, I took my pen. I said, walk with me here. So I went down through there, and I would circle words and phrases, and I would say, when they say this is what they really mean. He went, oh, I can see that now. I didn't think about that. And before you know, I had different, lines drawn, words circled, things wrote in, and I'd picked about, I think it was anywhere from 12 to 20 things, and kind of not really that long of a. It was a part of a speech. And I think it was at least 12. It might have been as much as 20. And he was like, "That's amazing, man. How do you know that?" I said, "You just got to listen. You got to pay attention. You got to know the lingo. You got to know how they talk and what they're saying. Politicians don't like to speak with straight words a lot of times. You got to follow what they're trying to say. And it's like and nowadays they really just tell you straight out, right? They don't even do that much anymore, but there is still some of it. But when you get over to Davos, you get over to Klaus Schwab and all those guys, they don't care. They just tell you straight out. I mean, what are you going to do to them? They're international. They don't care what an American says. This is what we're going to do. We're going to replace humans, or we're going to, break the riches of America, or what, however they said that. They want to do that. Absolutely, they want to do that. And these countries joining together in the BRICS and to try to destroy the American dollar. And we're throwing money out the window at different things left and right, like it's an endless supply. And we're just crippled with debt and the interest payments on those debts. And it's sad to go over and look at the debt counter, go over and look at the national debt counter. It's just flying, and I think of my kids and grandkids, my great grandkids, and I'm off the scene. If the world is still here, we ain't destroyed ourselves, or Jesus hasn't came back for the church or whatever, and I'll be with him. What kind of world is going to be there for those future generations? It's getting worse. And I was talking to some people, and they're making tough decisions. They're saying I can't make it. I mean, I can't. I don't have. They're asking. I don't even like asking for help, but I'm kind of stuck. And I'm working. I'm doing. and I don't have. I just can't make it. My rent's gone through the roof for my mortgage payment. I go down to the store, and I all this money goes out, and everything's higher. Thankfully, the gas prices in our area have dropped some, and that's praise the Lord for however reason that happened. I mean, it's not like it's low, but it's lower than it was. It came down a little over 50 cents since where we were at, maybe a little more than that. And of course, that has a direct impact on transportation costs, shipping, and you get all your goods and services by truck mainly, but also rail. But there's still an energy cost there. How those things, what is energy is being used there. And I was talking to someone who had a daughter, and all these people are coming out of California and left coast and up north, and they're coming south and southeast and southwest and middle states, but a lot in this area, a lot through the the Texas, the Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, in those areas, absolutely. But he was saying his daughter was in California to do research for whatever her job was, and she just got back, and he was so glad. He said it's such a mess out there, worried about her. But he told me this. She lives alone. She wasn't home most of the time because she was out doing her work, her job, whatever it was. And her last light bill, her last power bill, and she doesn't use a lot of energy. She kept things off. She wasn't home a lot. Her last light bill, I guess that would be for I don't know if that was for August or September. one person living in a small apartment, not home most of the time, just there to sleep really, and times she wasn't out doing, over $900. Can you imagine? Now, people right here during the summer months, obviously $200 and $300. You hear some people say, well, it's a big house and they got up over 400, over $900. Can you imagine what a bigger house with a more family, more showers, more cooking, more use of energy, whatever? Can you imagine what their bill was? And he was telling me how hard it was for industries to make it out there, because it takes, they use so much energy and all their money's going out through that. In this area, it was like 7 cents per kilowatt hour. Over there, it was like 28 cents per kilowatt hour, I think is what he said. So, quadruple rather. And, is that, you know what? They'd love to have that happen here. Absolutely. There's people that love to have that happen. And it's high enough here for all these things. I can imagine what the rent was. I mean, it's not unusual right here. People be paying, $1,200, $1,500 a month, uh, crazy amounts. And if you can find housing, sometimes you can't even find it. There's a lot of people living in hotels. That's expensive. They can't even get a hold of housing. And of course, a lot of homeless. As things continue to go up, and they can't get, they can't afford things, and it's scary. All of us are just a hair's breadth away from, you know, really falling off into bad things, and our health goes down. I know me and Tar Man's talked about that. He's he has said on this program about going and getting food that's given away. It helps him make it. Um, People on fixed incomes, they got no extra income coming in. So what happens? Well, the government, if they can get you all used to living off them, then they control you, and that's what we don't want. So let's take a quick break. I'm going to try to go get my magazine. There's a little portion there I want to read of something reference to it, and I want to make sure I got accurate information. This comes from the James magazine. I hope it's in there. If not, we'll get it Sunday night. But I do need to run a couple of ads. We don't know if Robert's going to jump back in the live. He's tried. We've had a couple of problems with that. He's just listening and recording, and he's going to work on interviews and all that. So he's doing what he needs to do. And I think the other group did go live. I've seen that pop up twice, so I don't know if they had problems as well, or if they did a live and then came back. But it's very loud in there, very echoey. A lot of times those places are. It's a very nice place. I'm looking forward to some pictures from there as well. Tarman says my bill runs around $75 to $80 right now. Winter months double. Trying to find different sources of heat. I understand, man. I understand. Can you imagine by yourself $900? I mean, you couldn't afford that. I couldn't afford that. And I'm sure you're doing everything you can to keep that cost down as much as you can. So yeah, I get it, man. We use of course electric and air conditioning, but the last couple of years we've used gas, and burning candles, man. I get it, man. Fortunately, it's been mild most of through the winter. Then there was times it got colder, and we spent more money on gas. Good wood heater. I understand. Of course, they want to get rid of your wood heater. They don't want you messing their environment up and putting the smoke in there. You know how it is. I remember that. By the way, I'll save that for on the other side of the break. Great memories from my childhood in my uncle's place. Just great memories. But let me run a quick commercial. I'll be right back. I promise. We may run two. Let me find somebody else run ARA. You know what? Love those folks. They've got a solid auction coming up. We're going to try to get a basket together for them, and we appreciate everything that they do. They've been such a blessing to us, and I hope in some way we have been to them. I think we have. We're going to try our best to be that. We'll be right back. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are. Hey, here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we've got a new morning show. Well, it's actually the same show, but we added a day. We're now on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 6 a.m., and we go till about 7, maybe a little after if we're having a really good show, and we just want to keep it going for a few minutes, but it's usually about 6 to 7. We hope you join us. And as our tagline says, nobody really wants to get up, but since you're up, grab a cup of coffee and join us. Hopefully we can get you started on your day talking about a little bit of sports or news, have a little laughter. Everybody needs that in the morning, along with that caffeine. And hey, we're trying to get you awake. You might be trying to get us awake. So join the chat. Let us know what's going on. Sometimes our best programs are from the chats that people tell us some things that are going on or remind us of some things or correct us on some things. Hey, all the above. We hope you join us on the Southern Fried Podcast morning show, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Have a great Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. One of the favorite things that we do is sit out on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea and just talk about whatever. That's what you do on the front porch, wave at the neighbors as they go by, or even a stranger. We're friendly people, and we like to just talk about whatever. You never know what Rob and Dave are going to talk about on the front porch, and sometimes Chris joins us, and then you really don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll laugh a little bit, we'll shock each other, and maybe, just maybe, you'll join in with us and chat with us on the front porch. Join us live for Front Porch Talking each Friday night at 7 p.m. That's your friends here at the Southern Fried Podcast. The Southern Fried Podcast now has its own store. Go to sfplive.com/store. These links are also found on Facebook and X and some of the other social streams. You will find shirts and hats and mugs and bags and all kinds of items with many different designs. These are just but a few of the more than 250 items that we have with different designs. We hope you'll come and shop, support the podcast. Every dollar that is paid will go towards keeping the podcast growing, and we thank you for your support. sfplive.com/store. Go shop today and get that favorite person in your life their Southern Fried Podcast item, and it'll help us advertise the podcast as you wear these things or take these things out into the public. We thank you for your support. If you have any questions, email us at southernfriedpodcast@yahoo.com. We'll be glad to answer. We're running some specials as well, 20, 25, and even 30% off in some cases. This will eliminate the mailing charges for sure. So go to sfplive.com/store for your Southern Fried Podcast items today. Remember, Christmas is just around the corner. Thank you. And we're back. Along with the talk about store there, which is active, I was just checking while we were in the break to make sure that I was accurate. We have different things set up to save you money throughout the next couple of months, and so they usually run for about a week to 10 days. We had just came out of one, which I'd ordered when I'd ordered my hat, which I have on. I think I saved 15-20% or something like that, and it saved me the shipping charges for sure. So I was just checking, and I wanted to make sure. Starting today, there is, and it runs through the 24th. There's 20% off everything Then when you get to October 3rd through the 8th, it's going to be free standard shipping. And then again, the 17th through the 22nd of October, 20% off everything again. And then by the end of that month, there'll be free shipping again. So we try to do that. We know things are high. We try to keep them as cheap as we could, but we do run programs in there and specials and stuff like that. And there is a wide margin of things in there. You can find things that are not quite as high, and there are things that are a little higher. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's just we kept it as best we can, but they're right in line with what you pretty much see. And you can see the hat is good quality. I like wearing it. And I'm going to order a coffee mug for the show to drink out of. I drink out of my coffee mugs, and I also will want to advertise with it. So I drink out of them. I want to advertise with it. And, but there's shirts and there's hats and all the basic stuff, hoodies. And so, go to the store. Just about every site one of our socials has the address there that you can click on. I don't think YouTube does, but I'm waiting on Chris to get back. I wasn't sure I may have embedded it in there. That's the one I'm not sure of. I think it's on almost everything else. All the majors we do. By the way, we are streaming on. We have the ability through StreamYard to do up to 8 live streams, and we are there. We're doing 8 live streams right now. We have one that we can take down because we have actually 2. I actually have already adjusted one. We had 2 in Rumble and 2 in Instagram. And if I feed the one in Rumble, it'll feed the other channel. I just have it split up into 2 channels. Same with Instagram. I have 2 accounts. So it's streaming live there for about an hour, then it drops. But you can at times go up to 4 hours, I think. But we have one more that we're looking at. I don't know if that's going to come online or not, but we're trying. There's a couple of them we're restricted at. We have to be at so many followers and stuff, and they're just newer. They don't have the same ability. But on all the big things, we are streaming live. So our lives always get a lot more followers and people that are paying attention, and it does bring us followers and subscribers and stuff. So, and we like going live. It's much easier on us actually on the back end of things to do the live stream than it is to record it. We did record our interviews are always recorded because you got to be careful with that. There's a lot of things can happen. You want your guests. We're not a big TV station, so we may get to that one day where we do live for that. But as of right now, I think we've only been a podcast since Memorial Day, and how far we've grown, and we're still, I say still, we'll be ongoing, adding to the repertoire of getting equipment better. You're going to see some of that in the near future. You're going to see a little bit different stuff, and we hope it. I don't think you'll see a great change. I think we have a good quality, but you'll see little things. In the far away, probably have our own app. I think that'll be something that comes down the road one day. So we'll see. Tarman has come back in. We're talking about how cold it's going to be. Almanac says January, February will be colder than normal plus snow. Started cold late November, then December. Yeah, and I know, and I really fly through the gas, and it's not cheap. So but we do. In fact, after this next few days, it's warmer. We're going to start cutting, and we probably could have already done it, but we're going to cut our air off and just use fans because it's going to be so nice out. We can do that. Especially at night, it's already that way. It's actually cool in the house, really cold, but we like to keep it cold, so we sleep better. But you got to do what you got to do. We keep all the lights off that we can. Kids will come by and say, it's like you're sitting in a dungeon. I said, no, I'm just saving energy. Now, if I'm reading or something, I turn the light on. We don't sit around complete darkness or nothing. It's funny because I used to get tickled. My neighbor, she's been deceased for a long time, and her husband would come in from work and he'd start turning the lights. If he was gone somewhere and he would come in, she forever was turning off every light possible. And he didn't like that, but she was trying to save money. I didn't really think it was that much back then, and maybe to us nowadays it'd be nothing, but he didn't make as much either. So she would cut off everything that she could, and she'd be sitting around, and I mean, it would be dark. I mean, I used to smoke, so you'd see the drag of the cigarette, and you could hear them, but they would open up all the windows and doors. They had screens and stuff, and they'd sit on the front porch a lot. And, they at night all the lights were out all night long. And but anyway, I was man. I was thinking about, you was talking about the wood stove, the wood heater. My uncle, he had one in the living room, and boy, the bedrooms would be cold. They weren't popped in, but you just covered up a lot. And, you throw 3 or 4 blankets on and stick your head under the blanket, you're fine. But it would get colder in the mornings because the wood would burn down, and it would just be that time where everybody was asleep and it got lower, and because it'd run you out of there even in the bedroom sometimes. But they would get up early to get breakfast going, and they would stoke up that stove, put some more wood on the fire, and before you know it, I mean, you're sweating. But that was great memories for me, that wood stove and the smell of it. And it wasn't a huge house. I think they had 3 bedrooms. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think 3. And they had, pretty big family. So all the girls were in one room, and there was 2 boys. They were in one room. But if I came over, of course, I was with them. And then the mom and dad had their room. And of course, they had a living room, bathroom, canning room, kitchen. That's about it. So yeah, it was an old farmhouse. I mean, that's what it is. And nice front porch, shaded. So you'd go out there and you would sit there and enjoy, enjoy those nice cool evenings. And again, in the summertime, they didn't turn on a bunch of air, so you just kept the windows open, and they weren't doing that. They just did, because you couldn't get too cold, so they would have that. See what you say here. So people think I'm asleep because I keep the lights up. They make good circulator, and it will cover a big house. Yeah, they do. And I'll tell you a guy one time. I knew he had a fireplace, and he had his set up to just blow throughout his house, and they didn't have no problem. But they do have that. But in old farmhouses back then, they didn't have all that stuff. You had the heater, and then you had everything. You were on your own in the bedrooms. But that was really only a little bit of time of the year. The rest of the time, it was great. They had a kind of a shady spot, and it was really nice. But I won't lie, I'm a little bit spoiled to the air conditioning. I don't like to sit around and be hot and sweat and sticky and everything. I'll admit that. I don't like to be freezing cold either, but I do like it colder, and I do sleep better. I just think it's better like that. And my granddaughter, she's gotten used to that. She'll cover up, she'll put on long sleeves or whatever, but she's kind of gotten used to that. Her mom can't stand it, but we keep it colder. And you know what? We all may be keeping it colder depending on the economy. So there is an explosion of I wanted to address it just a little bit, and we'll talk more about it on Southern Talk. But this news story out of North Carolina, and the man running for governor, Mark Robinson, the CNN is really blasting him right now. This is an article that dropped at 3:00 today. So it says more than a year. This is by Audrey Fallberg at National Review. More than a year after North Carolina GOP officials and operatives began privately warning about damning opposition research on Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, high-level conversations are taking place in North Carolina Republican circles about whether the controversial candidate should drop out of this year's gubernatorial race amid a new report from CNN involving unsavory comments Robinson allegedly made on a porn site before he was elected to statewide office. Now, I have no idea if he did or didn't. Of course, that's CNN reporting. I don't know. Of course, they're going to come through and try to find attacks on. They don't like this man. And of course, North Carolina is a battle state, remember? Robinson legend, according to CNN, Robinson referred to himself as I'm just going to let you go read that. I just don't feel comfortable repeating that on here because, things can be picked up. I don't want to hurt our streams. And it could be construed the wrong way. I'm just reporting it. Yes, Tarman 60 to 65 best for sleeping. I concur. And defended some other comments Hours before the story dropped, North Carolina Republicans were already privately panicking amid reports from National Review and other outlets that the allegations could hurt his party's chances of flipping the governor's mansion in November. Roughly 30 minutes before CNN published its report, the Robinson campaign shared an exclusive video statement with National Review denying the forthcoming accusations and reassuring his supporters he is staying in the race no matter what. Quote, "You know my words, you know my character, and you know that I have been completely transparent in this race and before. Folks, this race, right now our opponents are desperate to shift the focus here from the substantive issues and focus on what you are concerned with," Robinson said in the video, shared exclusively with National Review. "We are staying in this race. We are in to win it," unquote. So these are the kinds of things that are going to drop in the last 47 days of an election. And goes on to say getting a replacement nominee would be tricky now that Robinson's name is already on the ballot in his general election race against, they've been sitting on this a little bit with story, whether it's true or not, they've been sitting on it because they know this, against Democratic Attorney General Josh Stein, as Republican sources tell it. The question now is whether the North Carolina GOP should rally behind a new gubernatorial candidate who can salvage Republicans' electoral prospects up and down the ballot in this red-leaning battleground, especially as polls continue to suggest Vice President Kamala Harris is gaining on Donald Trump in the presidential race there. The deadline to drop out of the gubernatorial race is Thursday evening. Okay, doesn't take long to figure this out. If Robinson decides to suspend his campaign, the North Carolina GOP would pick his replacement. I have no idea if he said these things. I know that they don't like his things he said about abortion and about, Christians and they just look at him as a radical. I think he's been a good man. Now, if he said something and, and they've gotten a hold of it, campaign could be dead before it even arrives. You know how that goes. There's a lot of old sayings I can't repeat on here about things you don't do as a politician. But they said that the morale in the North Carolina GOP is low. As one well-connected source put it in an interview with National Review, the entire conservative political world in North Carolina is in a panic. 47 days out, this is what's happening. You kind of expected it, right? And North Carolina is a battleground state, big battleground state. But stay the course. Now, this is a man that I'm pretty sure that President Trump has endorsed, and he's been at Trump rally. So this will be interesting to see how this plays out. I have no idea, but I saw some headlines about it, and I'm getting it as you're getting it. You may have already heard it, but I knew there was something that had been said that they captured out there, and we're making hay with it, and that's exactly what we got. They just were only sorry they don't have it something they can say that President Trump said, because that would be something that they would really like to do. That's unfortunate. I just would say that's very unfortunate. If that's true, those comments are, and again, I don't know the context. I have no idea. I'd like to hear more, see more, and see what, and this probably, I'm sure, be in news circles, and they will pick that up. They have a lot more resources to go and maybe dig into this, but that's unfortunate. I mean, he's been one of those, there's always, they didn't like him. They've always, we knew they were going to come after him anyway, because they don't like what he says or what he does about the Christianity part, and he just says it straight down the line. I've listened to his rallies and stuff. And I meant to say earlier, and I forgot the name, Matt Getz is the one that dropped the Department of Homeland Security bombshell. 5 assassination teams are targeting Trump on U.S. soil. Not shocking if that's true. I'd like to know where he gets his info. We can drop into the article and maybe see. This is from Red State. And let's see. He said, talking about foreign and domestic threats, tragic, avoidable. Getz Said when asked for his thoughts on the second assassination attempt against the former president, I'm starting to get the impression that we do not have enough force protection of supporting President Trump that we ought to have given the threat environment. Well, I would agree with that. I think that's definitely definitely something that we could agree on. He said, noting that he recently met with a senior official in the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, who said there are at least 5 known assassination teams in the United States, at least 3 of which are foreign, that are out to, 4-letter word, I don't want to say that word again in the stream, Trump. And you know what it means, to take him out. And with that type of activity, I don't think we should be allowing people to get just set up for an extended period of time and wait to take their shot outside of his golf properties or his other properties. Gatz said, expressing concern that the second suspect, Ryan Wesley Ruth, was previously known to officials encountered at the border upon his return to the country from Ukraine. He further explained how Customs and Border Patrol, CBP, thought Ross' story was so suspicious that he was recruiting freedom fighters all over the world to go fight in Ukraine. And when they asked him how he was financing this, he said, oh, well, my wife's paying for it. The congressman was asked how these assassination teams could be in the United States. Gatz responded, explaining there is insufficient scrutiny to stop them from doing so. Quote, 3 of these teams are foreign inspired, from my understanding, Iranians, Ukraine, Pakistan, and the work is obviously challenging to protective detail like a presidential campaign that is vigorous and out campaigning, he said. Given this threat, Gatz said they're investigating to see if they have the right protective details, such as the correct sniper teams and the right tactical teams. It's unfortunate. We knew, not a surprise, we knew there were sleeper cells, pardon me, sleeper cells in the United States, and has been for some time. I mean, my goodness, we've had them there before, right? I mean, 9/11 was sleeper cells. I mean, they sent them in and, activated them when they had their training and got what they needed to go. So not surprising. And I would agree they don't have the right protective detail. You can find that at redstate.com. Pardon me. Allergies are a blessing, right? So you see this all the time, too. They have an article about Arizona Cardinals apologized to a season ticket holder after stadium security made her ditch the MAGA hat. I don't just get sick and tired of this stuff. You know, it's America. America, as President Bush would say. America. What in the world? I was telling my church Sunday, there's been lawsuits all over the country for against schools that have told kids various things. Like, number one, you cannot have a book cover that has the 10 Commandments. That's not true. Absolutely not true. They tried to suspend them from school, make them hide it, and all these things. Well, they lost because it's protected. Or that they could not pray in school. That's absolutely a lie. I can pray anywhere I want to. I drop my head and I pray. You tell me I can't pray? Stop me. Right, Tar Man? Yeah, they have no more dirt to dig up on Trump. That's why they're trying to go. Yeah, well, amen, brother. But, yeah, tell me I can't pray somewhere. Now, I haven't been there. I have not been there. But I have been told by many, many people that if you go you go to Jerusalem, you go to the Temple Mount, you go to the Dome of the Rock, that's controlled by the Waqf, the Islamic religious authority, and that they say if you're not of their religion, you can't pray in there. So if you're Jewish, if they see you, rocking back and forth, or a Christian bowing their head, they'll throw you out. I've heard that. I cannot say that I've been in there, so I don't know. I do know that they had this old carpet been in there forever, and it stunk. That's what most people remember when they went in there to look at that rock. They eventually remodeled a little bit and got rid of that. They said it was rank. It was not very good. So yeah. So Chickbait is in the house. I was late cleaning and helping my cats. Well, we're glad you're here. It's a surprise Thursday show, and hang on just a second. Be off camera for just a second. All right. Sorry, granddaughter's issues. What's the topic? Well, the topic is we've got a couple things going on. Actually, three things, and we're talking politics. We're talking. First of all, today we're not. We're announcing it here that we did our interview with the election official from Catoosa County down here in Georgia, and that is up. And we talked about all just the nuts and bolts of campaigns, and that's out there. We missed Sunday night because I was sick, so oh yeah. Also, number two, Rob is at the Stop the Monkey rally in Donaldsonville at the hotel. He tried to come in Catoosa County. Chickbait is extreme North Georgia, right to the state line of Tennessee. So that's my county, and we had them on that. That interview is loaded. We also, again, he's at the event. He tried to come in live twice. We had problems. He has our hat, Stop the Steal, or Stop the Monkey Farm. I'm thinking of the other, Stop the Steal. Near Tennessee. Yeah, Chattanooga, Nooga strong, as they say. I'm a Georgia boy, but yeah. He's there, and he's going to try to get some interviews, and he's got our hats. He showed me. Of course, he gave me a hard time. He said, "Your hat's going to be behind me on the shelf." He'll do that in the morning before he gets it to me, I'm sure. But he's already talked to a couple of folks down there. They were just starting the meeting, and absolutely, you can pretend to be Robert, wear your wig, right? And so, if you would like to come up, I'll have to remember your. I think we sent that to you through. Did we do email on that? You'll have to remind me if which we did. I'm trying to remember how we did that. But if you want to come up, you can. You're definitely welcome to come up. We're going to be up for a little while longer. Rob's probably going to. By now, I think that meeting is probably over. They're probably milling around, having small talk and doing interviews and stuff. And then I'm hoping to catch Rob as he gets back home, and he'll jump in and kind of give us the lowdown. So we're going to keep going. And then the third thing is we're talking about the election itself, 47 days away. The attempt to no, it wouldn't be the same link. That's a new link because it's a new stream. Chickbait, and I'm trying to remember. Did we email that to you? I'm just trying to remember how we did that. And you can. You just have to remind me because when there's two of us here, it's a little bit easier to kind of multitask. I am the most elderly senior co-host here. Just by a little bit overcooked, but I did email it to you. I'll tell you what, just give me 1 second, and let's see here. I'm going to send you a private chat. And hang on just a second. Just send me an email. That's right. We did that through our email. I remember now. So anyway, we'll get that to you. Sorry, multiple things going on here. Be patient with us, and we'll get that. All right, it's be just a second. Let me get some things going on here. Then I'm gonna email that to you. I'll get that to you. But we're also talking about this breaking story out of North Carolina and governor potential running for governor gubernatorial candidate Mark Robinson, who is a Trump supporter. He is endorsed by Trump, and they supposedly, CNN says, they have explosive information on him. Let me make a signature here. I'm signing my life away. I don't even know what I'm signing. I think my granddaughter's getting me. Wait, hold on. Getting me to. I will read that in the morning before you go to school. I need you to sign that. I'm signing something else. So she's hit me in the middle of a stream. Sorry. She says, sorry. I'm going to sign here, and then we're going to talk about this in the morning. Is this one of those teenager things? This over tonight and hand it to me in the morning. All right, I'll do that. I have to do a project, and we need to buy styrofoam and all that. Yeah, it's probably want some money from me, right? Help. Okay. All right. It's not money. It's not money. It is money if I'm having to go buy stuff. So appreciate it. Your patience. I'm here by myself. Yeah, if you could just email the Yahoo. I'm going to take a quick break. Let me get this email to her or this link to her. We'll be right back. Sorry, we're not going anywhere. But let me run an ad here just for a second, and we'll take care of that. Hey, folks, where can you find the Southern Fried Podcast? Well, not at the beach. We wish we were there, but we are on all these different platforms you see on the left of your screen. Some of these we go live every day, or just about every day. Some of these we record and we upload the videos or forward it to those platforms. We're thankful for each and every one. We have followers across all of, or just about all, some are new, but just about all of these platforms we have followers we interact with on a daily or at least weekly basis. We thank you for all the support. We thank you for taking our programming and liking it and sharing it out and following it and subscribing to it. We see that. We appreciate it. We can't thank you enough. We're growing every day, and our lineup is growing. New shows are coming online. We're modifying shows, and we're finding ways to get our name out there in more and more ways. We'd like for you to be a part of that. Come and be on the show with us. Some of you already have, and some of you will. If you just like to listen, that's fine too. We need that. We thank you for your prayers. We thank you for your support. And if you have any suggestions for us, send them. All we can say is, well, that was funny. Now, we listen to you. We appreciate you. We thank you for all the support, the encouragement that we've been given. We've only been at this for just really a few months, and we're trying hard. And we thank you again. And we hope that something we do will lighten your day or change your opinion about something or reinforce an opinion about something you feel very strongly about. Life is tough. We don't want to make it heavier or harder on you. We hope that by watching these programs, we can be kind of a Southern therapy for you. The Southern Fried Podcast. The couch is available. It's waiting on you. See you soon. Come listen to Mama Said on the Southern Fried Podcast each Monday night at 7 p.m. We love those things that Mama said. Mama had a lot to say to us, and we appreciate it. It means a lot to us. God was good to us when he gave us the gift of mothers. And we'll never forget our mom. Be they living or deceased, moms are powerful in our life, and they shared a lot of things with us. We love to talk about those things on Monday night. Sometimes we invite guests up to be a part of the show, but we'll be live, and we'll have lots to say. Come join us each Monday night at 7 p.m. live on the Southern Fried Podcast on your social media network that you follow.
Hello, folks. Just got finished an interview with the Southern Fried Podcast about the upcoming movie called The Keeper. It's in movie theaters nationwide. It'll be streaming in November. It's about a veteran who attempted to hike the Appalachian Trail, successfully ended the trail while fighting his battle with PTSD. It's based on a true story. I hope y'all go see it. It has a wonderful message. It's a very powerful movie. But yeah, please go see it.
Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. Please join us each Wednesday evening as we go live for Hump Day News, where we talk about a little bit of everything. We'll laugh a little bit. We'll tell you a little bit of sports news and other news that's going on. Each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., join us for the SFP Hump Day News live. You're midweek, making your way through another work week. Join us, and we'll try to make you laugh a little bit and keep your day a little brighter. All right, I'm back. Chickbait, just give me 1 second here. I had to go around the world a little bit to make this happen. Crazy as that may sound, I had to do that. I didn't have it set up on my desktop and didn't remember the password, so I am going to respond to you right now and put the link in there. I had to send it a different way, but this should be good once I finally get it. So I think this will be good. So there is your link, and we are back. Thank you for your patience, and appreciate Chickbait coming along. It's been a real blessing to be in the streams, and don't forget about her channel is too. True crime in a little bit different way. I've still got to get over there and watch some of it. It's been when you get sick and you get a little bit behind on your programming, and you're working full time and taking care of kiddos like you just heard, and you're doing all those things. That can be a little difficult. Get back over here to my comments and stay up, and then just try to get those things done. But we do a lot of programming. We enjoy doing it, but if you get behind, it can be. And Robert's had some things going on, and we've had scheduling problems and stuff. So hopefully you got that. Yes, I emailed the link. It is in there, so you'll have to do it from there. You should have that. I sent that. Just click on the link part. I think I sent that. Hopefully I sent that. But I believe that I popped that in there. I had to send it from my other email, and let me make sure. I'm gonna copy it again just to make sure that I have it, and then I'll send that to you again. You got it? Okay. So come on up when you can, and we appreciate you. Appreciate you coming in. Tar Man, you've had some good things here tonight. We appreciate that. It is very difficult. It is very hard to make it on today's economies and incomes and stuff like that. People are cutting out things. We need a change in our leadership. We just need change. And there comes. Oh, she got the wig too. I love it. This chick bait is filling in for Robert. So
the echo. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Be a channel when I put it on.
Yeah, I accidentally brought two of mine up one night in the same stream, and it was quite crazy.
What's going on, Dave? I know I entered.
No, it's good. Have you been today?
I've been okay. Got 2 cats. They're crazy. I made burgers last night. Good leftovers, Well,
that's good. I like it. Yeah. Well, I worked today. I took a half a day vacation. We did a interview today again with the election official and had
what's going on there? This is
about an hour. This is Georgia. It's really getting the dates, talking about early voting, absentee ballot, which Tarman is in here. He does that.
Yeah.
And
military do that too. They have to when they're overseas.
Let me catch this remark real fast, Chick Bait.
You're fine.
No, because there's a question. It seems in today's polarized society, most people on both sides of the political spectrum, left and right, have nothing but good things to say about President Eisenhower. And I find it ironic how the media or people of the left never attacked him or labeled him as a fascist or Nazi like they do with many Republicans. Why do you think this is? Well, I think that, and he goes on to say, Dark Sage 9117, in my opinion, he is my all-time favorite president, a true hero to America. I want to tell you, that's really, I think, and I don't know the full answer to that. I would just say around that time, there was a shift in politics. There definitely was. Of course, it became a very turbulent time. If you go back and look at some of the things he said, it was very amazing. I don't cover. There's one of his speeches that is just simply amazing. I'm glad you brought this up because they don't cover his administration very much, and I don't know all the reasons why. But it seemed as though after him, things really started escalating in a very turbulent way in American politics. Now I know we were dealing with war then, but Eisenhower's a very interesting character, and I haven't had anybody come in and say that. But obviously he was dealing with a lot of different things around that time, and there were some that loved him, some that didn't.
That was all post World War II stuff that he had to deal with,
He did
war and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. And then I think he was early with the first Korean War too. So
yeah, you come through that, and of course because war debt. So Dark Sage, what would you say was his top 3 accomplishments? You've obviously he's a favorite of yours, an all-time favorite, and I'd be interested in your comments there. But obviously a military man, and there was a time when that was looked at even more so. We've gotten away from that. A lot of you think about most of the presidents we've had in the last don't have any military experience whatsoever.
Yeah,
that used to be a prerequisite.
Hey Dave, want to hear a fun fact?
Go ahead.
Eisenhower Eisenhower is like the only president, or maybe one of only our presidents who never had a political background prior to being president. Like never held office.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. And I just think it's interesting that you bring that up, because I do think you don't hear as much about his time in office as Rob is looking better.
Well,
I agree. You know, he doesn't. We don't have the bald head, and so much better. So yeah, let's. These are great comments that we got. I was watching Left Wing panel a few days ago. The host was asked this, and he said Eisenhower was a war hero and Allied commander, so it would be disrespectful and disgraceful to him. They even said that he was a great president and was one of the few Republicans who they could not say anything bad about.
Well, he obtained a truce.
Yeah. And I surmise him being a Supreme Allied commander kind of gives him a pass. Those are very good comments from both of you, Dark Sage and Chickbait. You know, I think that would be good for us to explore. Let's because I love history and go back and
please.
And no, you're fine. It probably gets hot. I would say that's something we can explore. I don't know if one of his speeches has came up in the last few months, and it made the circles, and somebody was just pointing out some of the things that he said in that was very amazing, and I don't remember which one it was. Again, I wish I did know that, but I'm going to go back and look at that. Do what?
Where did that come up on? Like,
I don't remember. It might have been it was probably on social media, but some people were making
I'll be right back. Hold on a second.
Okay, you're fine. Some of the I think on some of the social media that there were some people focusing on one of his speeches that he made, and really just I think some timeless things that he said. But I would definitely be, Dark Sage, I'd be willing to explore that, because I like Eisenhower. And obviously he's before my time.
Dave, I never told you my background and my education.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a history major.
Oh, awesome. I knew there was more there.
War stuff, Revolutionary War was like my passion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Did you always have a love of history?
Yes, I did. Yes.
That is amazing. I love that, because I do love history. You know, and I love politics too, because my dad, I said it, my dad's
historian. My father is a word I can't see on TV, but you know, he was a politician. But between him and her, I had a love for history, and I still follow my passion.
Awesome. I see you're going to bring so much to us by doing those things when you can come and be with us. But so what was it about the Revolutionary War that became your passion? Just the whole freedom aspect, the new country? What was it that led you to it?
I like pirates.
And she froze a little bit, I think. Give it just a second; it'll come back.
Am I still here?
You're back. Okay, you froze a little bit, but you're back.
Yeah. Oh shoot! Let me grab my favorite books. I'll be right back.
Go right ahead. I have spent a lot of time studying World War II and the war between the states. I have studied Revolutionary War. Did have an ancestor who, and that's one of the reasons why we all ended up in the South, is because of the land draws and the land lotteries, and they got extra draws because of service in the Revolutionary War, which has happened to a lot of people, and they came down here. Not to get away from your thought there, Dark Sage. I want to go. You've really piqued my interest in my my curiosity. I want to go back, and I want to examine that, and I want to come back and look at that, because I really think you've hit on something, and I agree. And it's almost like there's a vacuum there. It's like you just don't really hear much about that administration. And the most thing you hear about Eisenhower, I mean, what is it? It's obviously when he made those citizens come into the concentration camps and see what was going on right there. He made them come in and see that. That's one of the things that really stands out about his time. But so show me a book that you've got.
Okay.
I'd be interested to see.
Still here. Treasure Island.
Treasure Island, great book.
and
Yes.
The Swiss Family Robinson.
Another classic, The Swiss
And
Family
I
Robinson.
have a whole bunch of Titanic books. So like I got hooked on history from these like disaster stuff. Based on a childhood history of trauma, I was gravitating towards these books.
That's cool. I love it.
But it was a really healthy way to cope with stuff because I'm like, things could be worse. I could be shipwrecked on an island, or I can find pleasure.
Exactly. Yeah, Tarman, the battlefield he's talking about, really, and I would just say for me, when I was a kid, I don't know where it came from. My dad loved to tell family history. He didn't really get into history of the world. In school, though,
my mother was doing ancestry a lot.
Yeah, and I like that stuff too, to be honest. I think my dad gave me that. My mom, not so much. She just wasn't into that. My dad was, and so he was always trying to get that information to me.
Cool.
So I had this great love of studying the war between the states when I was a kid, and I kind of got away from it. And one day, the Lord just put people in my life that really, kind of got that fire going again. But I was at home.
Lord put me in your life for some reason. Like I really believe that, and it's like kind of creepy in a way because
I do too.
I've been depressed for like 4 months straight. Couldn't get out of my bed. Didn't want to do anything. Was doing my YouTube channel, and then I saw your channel one morning, and I was like, rutabaga. And,
that is great. It's funny because I was talking about rutabagas today. I'll come back to my little thing I will tell in a minute because I have a wellness coach that calls me about my health, and it's all part of the insurance and everything. And she's great. I have one that calls. I have 3 different people that I talk to every 3 months, and so so they were talking about eating more greens, and of course I do like spinach and green beans and peas, but I don't like Brussels sprouts and stuff like that. So I said, she said, "Do you have anything else?" I said, "Well, I've got one more thing." I said, "What is your opinion about rutabagas?" And she's like, "Well, kind of, rutabagas. I never was into rutabagas. That's so interesting. You asked me that." She said, because I told her about Rob and his love of that and this recipe that he's got. So she asked me, like, get with your friend, find out the recipe. Please get back to me because I would like to try the rutabaga. I've never had them, but
Dave, in case anybody watching cares to know how I ended up here, it began with rutabaga.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And now you're here. And we're glad you're here. You're
God works in mysterious ways.
He does work. And Tarman says, "Dang, what a trigger word, rutabaga." That's awesome. That's awesome. That could be a title to a book or something.
I mean, like Dave, like we come from. I acknowledge we come from 2 different worlds per se.
Sure we do. Sure.
But we found things to talk about.
I call that. And if you ever listen to any of my devotions, and I try to do that, and I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying if you ever listen to them, I call it building the bridge to people. We don't have to, as we just build the bridge to each other. It means we connect in some way, and it takes 2. You can't build the whole bridge by yourself.
I know you don't get into politics much, and you probably know who I'm not or not voting for, but it doesn't mean I don't care for the other candidate. I care for everybody.
Yeah.
I show kindness to everybody that I meet sincerely, because I think this world it's smaller than we think it is.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't show that kindness, then I'm being rude, arrogant, and just mean to other people. And I don't want to be mean to other people,
I don't either. I really, my goal in life and it is to have no enemies. I don't like having enemies. And because of my, being a man of faith, and I tried a bluegrass band named the Rutabaga 5. That's interesting. We're learning stuff tonight, chick bait. That's interesting. I've just always tried to reach out to people. You know what's funny is, and I don't know if you are or not, as a child, I was extremely shy, and I'm still shy. People don't believe that. And I believe that you probably are. I believe that you probably have a shy part.
I didn't talk for about 5 years of my early life.
Yeah.
And then because of the trauma, and then
I got it. When
I started talking, I got super opinionated all of a sudden.
And sometimes that happens to people. They get very opinionated. So when we first started the podcast, I said, Rob, of course, Lord knows you can tell I can rattle on and talk, but I thought, I don't know, we're going to have enough to talk about and stuff. Is anybody really going to care about that? And I'll say this, Chickbait, if everything we're doing, if everything we've done to this point and everything we're ever going to do is that we could have this moment that we could talk about rutabagas and it helped you in some way, it's worth every step of the way. It absolutely. You just validated everything that me and Rob have tried to do.
Well, okay. I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of left-wing friends, liberal.
That's okay.
But I'm like the weirdo who branches out and tries to reach out to everybody. And I'm spiritual. So I heard rutabaga. I'm like, I'm hooked. And it's not a joke. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a joke. It's like, sometimes you look for signs in the universe that make sense to you. That only makes sense to you. And it's personal. It's not about anybody else.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
And if I can build that bridge here, like, I understand how the world works more or less, but, it's nice and comforting to know that you guys are talking to me regardless of my background or my opinions. And
yeah, it matters not to me. You know what? You're a human being who has something they want to, something to give, and I believe that everybody you meet can teach you something, and you can teach me something. And if you ever start trying to not learn, then, and I have a phone call coming in from my co-host, so just talk for a minute, Chickbait.
I'll talk for a minute. Everybody, how about that weather?
Hey.
How's the weather doing for you? The weather out here is pretty cool and calm in Ohio. I'm in northern Ohio right now, and I think there's
a
breeze blowing through. Dave's on the phone. That's my update.
Good.
My cats just ate, and now they're taking a nap again. They'll probably waking me up at 4 a.m. on the clock. And my glasses look a little bit get them adjusted. Okay.
When you get back, get online and jump in with us. Chickbait's in here, and we'll talk about your experience tonight. So if you have time, so we'll be here. All right.
The weather.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dave.
Right. I'm back. Thank you. I'm sorry to leave you like that. It's very unusual. But definitely,
I talked about weather, and
he didn't know that I was online, and I need to make sure that I send him a updated.
See, once again, I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, see, you've helped me out, and I'm just going to make sure he has the right. We have this thing. It's really weird with the platform. You can, if you get the wrong address, you can be sitting in the platform. You can see everything, but you're the only one in there. It's like I'm in the room, but nobody's here.
Well, that's why I asked for the direct link.
Yeah, we did that one time. I went into a stream and Robert says, "Where are you at?" I said, "I'm in here." He goes, "No, you're not." I said, "Well, I sure am. Where are you?"
Right,
we were in two different streams open at the same time. So,
but
anyway, back to your thought and Dark Sage or Tarman or whoever else. You're a human being. You have a right to feel the way you want to feel.
Dave, can I vape on here?
We don't like it, but if you do a little bit, I won't pitch a fit. So
I won't vape too often.
We don't want to influence kids too much. So, but the kids are vaping all over the place.
Kids who are watching, if you vape, you will be compulsively addicted. It will ruin your life. It'll waste your money. That's my
I'm worried about the other things that they're saying that I hear that's going on, but that's a story for another day.
Before that.
So, when we there was a great story out of the 9/11. In fact, because we were talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
And my granddaughter came in and she was at school today and they were talking about 9/11 and we were talking to her. There's a great story. It actually became a track that was used. And it was to people that were two totally different people.
Stanley?
And they were in the towers and one of them was disabled. And
the woman in the wheelchair.
Yes. And everybody run bomb and left. And this guy stayed,
men stayed and helped her down. They asked her if she wanted to go. There was a temporary, I don't know what it's called. a unit to help people on the 20th floor. And she said, no, let's just keep going. And they all reunited. Reunited a year later at a wedding. If you follow the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
It's an incredible story, but there's also a story about a guy named Stanley.
I think I've heard that one too.
Saw the plane in the South Tower, and somebody else met him, and when he came over the debris, he kissed him. And
wow.
and they were brothers now, like blood brothers, because they both had cuts on their hands, and it was like powerful stuff.
And in times of tragedy and chaos and whatever, there's things that happen for the good and the bad. And I'm a firm believer as a man of faith that there are divine appointments. There's just things that we're supposed to do. When you think about this, and you talked about the world being small, it really is. And when we think about before the foundation of the world that Tarman and whoever else and me and you were known that we were going to be in this stream tonight, we didn't know that. We didn't even know there'd be a stream, but here we are.
Now here we are.
And what does it all mean? I don't have the grand plan, but I know that it means a lot, and I know that you've been a blessing to us, and hopefully in some way we've been a blessing to you. If it's just rutabaga,
you've gotten me out of my depression, out of that funk. But here's the good thing: it's the month of September, okay? And this is not about September 11th. My mom was born on September 15th. She died on August 19th. It's the 11th year without her.
Oh, wow.
But every year she sends me weird signs, I swear. And your podcast was the weird sign she sent me this year.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad I'm glad we're the weird sign. I'm glad. That means a lot to me.
You get my point. Like,
yeah, I got it. And
off character for me, but I've been branching out more and reaching out more because when people get so close-minded, they forget there's other people around them.
Sure.
Well,
I'm a firm believer, and I said this in our show here recently, is that there's a big attempt in our country to take people and push them to the extremes.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that we can come back to the middle and shake hands, and again, we're not going to agree on everything. And if anybody ever thinks that everybody's going to agree on everything, they're crazy.
That's
but we have to work on the things that we do agree on.
You have to be neighbors.
You got to move the country forward. You have to move yourself forward. And as we grow, as we age, as we learn, as we pray or whatever it is, our worldview changes. And it could change for the worse if we are influenced. We look at people that are influenced by.
Dave, honestly, I was glad that you guys accepted me into your community. I was like, there's no way I'd fit in. And then you guys accepted me, and I feel really honored, like really, truly.
Well, thank you for saying that. That means a lot. And we're crazy guys. We may have different political views or even backgrounds or whatever, but we're crazy guys. And we like to have a good time, and we like to have laughter.
If I have a video on my page, you don't like it, ignore it. But I try to everything I do in a way that's polite and decent enough. I don't like to be crass.
Yeah.
I don't like to humiliate people, put people down. It's my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, don't watch it.
Yeah, exactly. And what we always say, turn the channel, turn the volume down, whatever it is. There are people, I'm sure that, I think that's a good point.
Dave, also, I'm like the only liberal person I know who made a video after the first Trump assassination, like supporting that and saying, like, not supporting the assassination, but saying like this guy died, this happened, that happened. And I'm like, there's no room for that in my heart, in my soul.
Yeah, me neither.
You can't do that. Like, you can't cross these lines.
Which is exactly what I was saying last night in my debate with Rob, is there's lines that you have to be careful. You can't cross the line, or you become the thing you never wanted to be, but you become that.
And a lot of people
there's not a good reason.
That angered me. I'm like, this is not a time to joke.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're aware of the left making jokes about it. And I was like, no.
Well, sure. I mean, there are people in our country that celebrated when the towers fell. There are people in our country that would celebrate that. They would high five. I mean, there would be a party being thrown,
No,
and
I don't.
there were people that were mad. They made jokes about the miss, like, how could you miss, man? You had a perfect shot, you know.
When I took a class in school from somebody who was a professor from West Point, for example, and we had really good instructors, people that came in and talked, right? And they explained that there are some countries when it's like 9/11 every day. So they took the footage out of context. Of course, they celebrated 9/11 because they didn't think they could get to us.
Yeah.
But they took it out of context, and then you run with it over and over. But we don't have 9/11 every day.
No, we don't. We don't. And that's true.
Countries where it's like that almost every day. And that's
sometimes we focus on all the bad instead of all the good too. And we still have so many great things that are going on. Yeah. You can't just stop living. You can't have, stop having hope. You still have to work through the process.
Oh, by the way, Dave, my birthday is October 21st. So
wow. Okay.
Party.
We'll have a party. Come on. I don't know. You may have some things you're doing, but we'll definitely have a podcast party.
Big 40.
My wife's is October 19th. That's amazing.
Libras.
So yeah.
It all makes sense.
The rest of the family is all in the spring and summer. So
that's my daughter.
She's the only one. I think there may be one or two that's in January, but most of them are in the spring and fall. So
I'll be right back so I can vape.
No, go ahead. You're fine. Toyota Man, when's your birthday, Toyota Man? I don't remember. You probably told me, but I forgot. When is your birthday? And
I was it because I blew out the vape after. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I love Dark Sage 9117 and his thoughts and or her thoughts. I guess it's a guy. Was it a guy? I don't know. I'm sorry if I offend you. I don't mean to.
I miss Robert. Where is he?
He's going to jump in. He's on his way back. He couldn't get much interviews just the way it was set up, he said. And he may have some videos. We'll have to look at it and see if it's even worth putting up. But I'll tell you just to come give a report. You
were saying like you were shy or socially awkward or something.
Oh, absolutely.
So am I. Yeah. Like this is helping me a lot to meet you one-on-one.
Yeah. Toyota Man, July 15th. We just passed that. Happy way late birthday. I didn't know that was your birthday. I still battle with it. People, Michael, his name is Michael. He said, I know he never known me to be shy, but I just.
How do I reach your Facebook stream?
I try to work. There's different things I do to overcome it. And because of the blessing of God in my life, and I'm constantly in front of people, I get better at it. But there are times that I almost lock up. I'll give you one example. And I try my best to avoid it. I don't like walking in a room full of people last. I can't handle that. I want to be in the room and sort of, I will work the whole room.
Observe it.
I will observe it, but I'll go meet people. I'll shake hands, and I get comfortable that way. If I have to come in when everybody's already in the room, that's the hardest thing for me. I don't lock up, but I feel like locking up. It's like, okay, here we go.
No, I mean, but half the problem is admitting it. Like a lot of people like they don't have problems, and they get hooked on drugs and other things. Not to mention that, but you know what I mean. Like a lot of people get a hang up.
Sure.
They get a hang up and they don't want to be in these situations. And it's really hard to admit that you have these problems. And we were taught growing up, and I'm sure your generation, a little bit ahead of me, was taught not to admit you had these problems.
Oh, it absolutely. And the one before me, you never talked about it. That's why things got, as they say, covered up because we were told not to talk about it. In fact, in the South, if young girls got in the family way, as they would say, that was the nice way of saying she was going to have a baby and was not married, which, that's not the right thing. We want to be married and follow the Bible on that, but they would send them away. And there were homes for girls, and they would send these girls to these homes and they would have the babies. Some of them made it back home. Guess what? Some of them never made it back home. They don't know what happened to them.
Families rejected them.
Yeah, they did reject them. And there were times that we were told not to talk about things. I definitely remember that as a kid.
Yeah.
That you're not going to bring shame to the family. We're just not going to talk about that. We'll never mention it again. But what happens is you drive that down, and it's a trauma.
Yeah.
And you sit on that for 20, 30 years. All of a sudden, you're hooked on dope or alcohol or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's what happens.
The fire, it fuels the fire. And the exact thing that you're trying to prevent, you're creating by all these like hiding secrets.
Yeah. Every time that I have, and I'm not a professional counselor, just as being a person who has counseled with a lot of people. And really, to be a good counselor, you listen a lot. You just listen. But every single one that I've ever had come to me and say, as they talk to me, they feel more comfortable and they would start talking about things in their life, because you're trying to figure out why they're a wreck. Their life is a wreck. Every single time, in my case, every single time went back to childhood. Every single time. And it was childhood trauma of all kinds, all different kinds of trauma. And they never talked about it with anybody. And they've just been sitting on that. And it manifested itself in many different ways. We have Robert. We have a Robert sighting. So,
okay, Robert's here.
They would hold on just a second, Robin, finish this thought. So, yeah, when you talked about trauma, and you have these people that sit on this trauma all these years, then you're trying to figure out, why is this person? I mean, I'm raising a granddaughter. You've seen her. Why am I raising a granddaughter? Well, because of childhood trauma, that folks have just had things that have affected them as adults, and they can't seem to quite get it together. They're getting better. Why some are in jail, some are in rehab, some are deceased or whatever, and the fact that you said, I mean, I think it's very brave of you to come on here. I want to give you a rose. It's very brave of you, Robert. This is the most amazing thing. You have to hear this real quick before we talk about anything down in Donaldsonville.
Okay.
That Chick Bates says that, she'd went through this really tough time of depression. And the fact that she got on here and said that, you said 4 or 5 months, I can't remember which one. And she said the thing that got her up and got her going into our channel was rutabaga.
Oh, God works in mysterious ways, guys.
Isn't that amazing?
Rutabagas?
Rutabaga had me hooked.
Oh.
I was just like channel surfing one day, and I was like, "What is this podcast? And why is YouTube recommending this to me?" And I'm like, "Okay, click." So I clicked on it, and it was you guys, and I'm like, "Hi."
Rutabaga.
Have you ever? So you ate rutabagas?
I don't think I've ever eaten a rutabaga.
Oh, let me highly recommend it.
But secondary to that, Robert, before you tell that part, because if you tell her anybody, I talked to my wellness coach today.
Okay. I want to interrupt you. Do a
Go ahead.
special show one day. I mean, on my entire sob story, because you won't believe what I've been through.
I would love to have that.
Got me here to rutabaga.
Yeah, I would love to hear that. And we're gonna write a book or something about it. We're gonna make a video. But Rob, my wellness coach today, I asked him. I said, because they were asking me, I said, well, there's a lot of things I don't like. But because she said, are you still working on eating your greens? I said, yeah, green beans, peas, and spinach, and I think I said something else. She tried to throw some Brussels sprouts at me. I said, no. I said, hey, but one more question. My friend and my co-host on the podcast said, rutabagas. I said, he says he's got a special recipe. What do you think about that? She said, actually, I've never had them, but I would love to know his recipe. So you're going to have to send me that, because she wants me to send that to her. She is a health wellness coach.
Very easy.
Well, my conundrum was in my brain. I'm like, rutabaga is that like rhubarb? I'm like, that's a pie.
No.
And like my brain's like functioning the entire time. So I was hooked on your show from the start, and I told like a handful of friends, like 2 or 3, to watch your show. I even told my son to watch your show.
Well, we do keep it calm.
We do. We get a little crazy, but we're family friendly, and we wanted to say that. And the other thing we learned tonight, Rob, was
video. When I vape, I will turn off the video.
Okay, yeah, we appreciate it. What was the other thing you said? You said, oh, she loves history, and amazing. She studied that in school. She had I think it was her mom was the history major, and she has this love of history, Revolutionary War.
Well, my mother wasn't a teacher, a school
teacher. Okay.
She was school teacher initially. When she got into like closer to retirement age or whatever we can call it, she got into being a local historian. So she was looking up stuff about ancestry for the family and then the community, the city, and all this stuff. Like, she's well regarded in the town now, you know, and she passed away 11 years ago. And no, I got passionate about history a long time ago. And in a lot of ways, it helped me survive my circumstances, because I would look back at, and I know it sounds kind of like weird, like the Titanic or Hindenburg, like things could be worse.
Yeah.
So I would study these things to realize, yes, my situation is bad, but things could be worse. Then I kind of got obsessed with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just kept studying, like, and I studied wars and all these things and politics and et cetera, et cetera. And it brought me to Rutabaga.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing, Robert. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But what I told her was, and when we want to hear about your meeting, and definitely, but what I told her was unknown to her. We said when we started this, if we could make a difference in one person's life, it was well worth anything we ever did. And I believe we have found one person here that has said that, and I couldn't be. You know what? If God takes me now, I'm happy.
Dave, can I interrupt?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was telling Dave before you got in here, Robert, that for the last 4 or 5 months, I've been severely depressed, barely getting out of bed, barely doing anything, barely house cleaning or anything. You know, I have 2 cats I need to take care of. They need me.
Yeah.
I take care of them, and then I go back to bed. And then one day it was Rutabaga. And I don't know what snapped me out of it. It was like some hypnosis. I got snapped.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Well, you know, we get on each other's case, and Dave and I.
It's not a joke, guys. I'm
Yeah.
being
Yeah,
serious.
I know you are. We
But,
know
you know,
you are.
And then
relationship-
YouTube, I said YouTube recommended this video to me one day. I clicked on it, Rutabaga. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I'm like, I don't know.
All right, Rob, tell us the lowdown of
So
Donaldsonville.
I gotta finish my story.
Oh, go
here.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Dave and I have known each other for a long time, like over 30 years. We can ride each other. It don't matter. It's like last night. We were on 2 ends of a discussion, and we were just going at it. And everybody out there probably thought we were mad at each other. We weren't.
No.
We were enjoying the heck out of it, just trying to get a rise out of the other person. And you know, that's the way we are. We like to get a rise out of somebody, but we also like to lift people up. So, but yeah, I wouldn't trade him for another that looked just like him. I wouldn't give a plug nickel for another like him either.
I just want to know one thing before you
What?
start. Where's my hat?
Oh, wait, I forgot. I brought this for
She did come on with the wig on.
Yeah, hold
And
on.
Tarman said that Robert was looking better tonight because she was my co-host before you
Hey.
got here.
Hey, you see that?
I see it. I
look
see it.
So where did you guys meet?
At work.
It's my show now.
Hey,
Just
Hi.
don't start singing Taylor Swift. We're
see that
okay.
back there? You see where
No,
your
Taylor
hat's at?
Swift has been canceled by me taking over your program.
You see where your hat's at? Back there, whichever
She
shoulder.
is not here right now. Do you see her? I don't think so. Don't be paranoid.
I don't see her. Aver bells around her somewhere. Hey, look at that.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. And who is this?
Pam
Okay.
Martin.
You guys wanted to answer some questions the other night?
Do you know who
Yeah.
Pam Martin is?
Yes, I am a Taylor Swift fan.
No, Pam Martin, not Taylor Swift.
Are you a Taylor Swift fan?
Are you a
I'm a-
Swiftie?
I'm a convert. I'm not a Swiftie.
Okay. Convert.
What's the difference between a
Don't call me a
convert and a
Swiftie. Call
Swiftie?
me a Swiftie. There are a few songs I like. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
I also have
Do you think Patrick Kelsey's cute?
no. You?
No. And if I did, I wouldn't say I did.
Okay, but I'm working on a sad playlist for the next time you ask me for a sad playlist.
Yeah.
And I was really bummed out that I didn't have a sad playlist. I have happy playlists.
You did have a happy playlist.
Well, you should have happy playlists. You don't need sad playlists.
Yeah.
I do have a good sad song for you that I've memorized my
What's
entire Rascal Flatts, What Hurts the Most.
Oh, yeah.
What hurts?
I know another good one.
That's a good one.
I know another good one.
Or I Can't
Bring
Make
It Here.
You Love Me. I think it's like Bonnie Raitt.
No. I got another good country song that'll make a tear run right down your cheek.
Robert, don't make me cry.
Travis Tritt, Anymore.
Okay, I'm going to have to write that one down.
Travis Tritt to me is one of the best singers ever.
I'm just
but that is a sad song.
He's passed away this year.
Who did?
Toby Keith.
Yeah, Toby Keith did.
Yeah.
That affected a lot of people.
Video, but it's fairly left wing, so don't watch it, okay, guys?
Okay.
Don't judge me.
We're not judging you.
Nobody.
I have estrogen.
So does Dave. He had on pink this morning. Pink.
Robert, what did you say?
This morning or last night?
I did, that was last night. I didn't have I had this shirt on this morning. I've been at work. And I've kept the shirt on. And just because I crumple my biscuit under the gravy, is that
Do you crumble your biscuit before you put gravy on?
Want to hear a story about biscuits and gravy?
Yeah.
Do you crumple your biscuit, or do you just leave it half open? And,
No, I met a friend who came over for breakfast, and they said they wanted biscuits and gravy, and I'm like, I want to be accommodating, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, I looked up recipes, and I got all the ingredients from the store the night before, and they came over and they saw me trying to make biscuits for the first time, not with flour and everything, and like,
how'd they turn out?
They're like, you've never done this before? I'm like, I'm trying. You could have just bought them from the store. And I'm like, I know, but I want to make them myself.
Well, that was sweet.
Had the gravy on the pan. Like, I want to be a good friend. And I'm mixing all this stuff together. And, well, the gravy part turned out fine, but the biscuits were a little mediocre.
Were they hard or?
Did
they taste flat? Okay. I was hoping you'd say they were really big. We call them cat head biscuits down here. So
I'm learning to cook.
I'm going to tell you the easiest way to make biscuits.
Okay.
You go through the refrigerated section of the grocery store and you get that thing that's called Pillsbury Doughboy biscuits or whatever. We also call them shotgun biscuits because you take the outside off and you turn it, go pow. You can.
I'll tell you one thing though. My gravy, my sausage and gravy turned out awesome.
Yeah, just get the Pillsbury.
Which is the harder thing to do. If you nailed that, that's the harder thing to do. Good gravy is not easy.
No,
if you've never done it before, yeah.
I'm like a reverse animal. Okay, so the easy part's hard for me, and the harder part's easier for me. I don't know why. Don't ask.
I think I'm a reverse animal too. Me and Robert are matter antimatter. Like we're like two magnets that we push each other apart.
You guys, Rutabaga brought us together. It's all your fault.
Dave will never try one either. He'll never try a rutabaga.
Okay,
you don't know that.
After tonight, I'm going to share my personal phone number, in my email to you guys.
Okay.
We can all be friends forever.
We're friends forever. That's right.
But Dave's already said, I'm probably never going to try that. I'm probably never going to eat that.
What's the worst thing you guys ever cooked that you messed up?
A sardine smoothie.
You didn't make that. You're making that up. You didn't make that. Don't let him lie to you like that. He didn't do that. He did not do that.
There's no such thing as a sardine smoothie.
Exactly. He didn't do that.
There is.
Yeah, I bet there is, and I'll make one for you when you visit me.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. I can tell you about a green shake.
Protein smoothies on the house, free.
Hey, yeah.
Oh,
Let me tell you about my green shake experience. Have you ever had a green shake?
no, I have not. I bet she's not had a green shake either. I mean,
My wife is a vegetarian. She grew up with vegetarians. And one of their favorite things to have was a green shake. Well, I'm out mowing the grass one day up in North Georgia. It was hot. It was humid. I was pouring sweat. I get a phone call from my loving wife, and she said, "Would you like a green shake?" I said, "Yes, I would." What is a green shake?
why would you say that?
That's a mint chocolate chip milkshake
There's a
from
company
Sonic.
that makes a green like smoothie out here, and I would tell my daughter like when she's like as old as like 4 or 5 years old, like looks weird, tastes good. That was their motto.
Yeah, this looked weird. Didn't taste good. It was not what I wanted when she got
I'll
home.
be right back, guys. Be right
All right.
back.
See, I can't. See, I can't eat if it looks weird. I don't care if it tastes great or not. I'm not eating it. I just can't. I just can't. I can't do that. Rutabaga. That's gonna be one of our.
That's a weird
catchwords now.
name, but it doesn't look weird. It looks orange.
How do you know I'm not going to try it? How do you know?
I said you would go try it. I ain't gonna try that. It's got a weird name. Remember, that's where the whole weird name came in. I'm not eating that.
I'm sure I won't, but I do want the. I do want. Are you under attack from the cats?
Yeah.
Okay. I do want the recipe though. I see the hat. I see the hat. Now, who is the person you said? I don't know who you was talking about. That signed the hat. Who signed the hat?
Pam Martin. Miss Pam Martin.
Who's Pam Martin?
She is the greatest female bass fisherman of our time.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know them.
Who is Pam?
She was. She's actually coaching now.
Okay.
Yeah, like in college.
When you said that, I mean, he was talking on the phone. I mean, he had this high pitched voice. I got the autograph. I got the autograph from Pam Martin. I didn't know who he was talking about. I've got Chickmate holding the show. I'm listening to you. You know, I'm like, okay, who's Pam Martin?
I want to talk about the weather.
You may be alone up there. I mean, she's out here pouring her soul out, and you're calling right now.
I should be part of your show by now. At this point, like
you're part of the show. No, you're part of the show.
We got to get.
We're gonna rise together or sink together. We're gonna
have to get Sugar Britches on here with you.
Exactly.
That's right,
I think
man.
At this point in time, either the ship goes down or it floats.
It's going to float. See, because you have a positive attitude, we're not going to be the Titanic. We're not going to hit the iceberg. We're not going to be going full steam ahead.
I'm also not the typical Northern liberal that you expect to meet.
I'm going to say I'm going to throw this out there. If we do,
I'm just giving a good name to my kind of people.
Right. If we do hit the iceberg and we sink and we're going down, we're going to be laughing.
No doubt. So instead of the band playing, we're going to laugh.
Noah's Ark.
That's right.
What animals do we bring?
Not monkeys. We're leaving the monkeys off this time.
Hey, if you're on Noah's Ark, which animals would you bring?
Well, definitely I want beef because I like to eat steak. So I definitely want them on there. Of course, we're going to get some dogs and cats. We're going to rescue them. I mean, that.
Oh, wait, the dogs and the cats, the Springfield thing.
Yeah, we're going to rescue them. And
be careful how you answer that question now.
We're going to eat some birds.
We're going to eat birds.
No, Robert, no, we're not rescuing. No, we're not rescuing the chupacabra.
We need chickens.
We need chicken. Absolutely. So we're right in line. We know what we need.
We gotta have goats for the chupacabra.
Yes, goats. Do you like goat cheese?
For the chupacabra.
No.
No, don't like
skunks are out.
I've had goat cheese.
You can find your channel on Facebook. Because I realize a lot of your comments are coming from there, right?
Yes.
They are. Yeah. So just go there. Give us a like. We lost somebody that liked us. We're not happy with somebody. So we need somebody to follow us again on Facebook because we was trying to get that bumped a little bit. Somebody left us. I dare them.
Gotta mute it. I'm sorry. Echo.
Echo.
I found it. I found it. Yes.
Yay! So yeah, that's that.
Give your
We
video
do.
a like on Facebook.
It's kind of weird when in the chat because some people don't see the other parts of the chat. So we see most of it, but there may be some that we don't see. I don't know, but
I mean, like, sometimes I feel like bad, like I have some explaining to do, like, oh my gosh, she's some girl from Cleveland who hangs out in Boston, and why she hang out with the Southern Fried.
Now, is it? Do you call it Boston or do you call it Boston?
I call it Boston.
The cod
Like
in the yard.
Boston.
Pock the cod in the yard, yeah, you know.
You got pock a car in the yard.
If you're out there, you gotta fit in. You gotta fit in.
Yeah, and I learned about that watching the movie Jaws.
All you see is chick bait. What are you saying, Toyota Man or Tar Man?
What, man?
Like she's the only one on the screen, or are you talking about the chat?
No, I see 3 people. No, there's
that's what he's saying.
He's on YouTube right now.
So sometimes I go on my phone and Tar Man and I
no. On YouTube, I only see 2 people. It's Dave and me. On StreamYard, I see 3 of us.
Okay. So
I'm checking out every link right now.
Sometimes I go into some streams and comment, and it doesn't.
No, and there's 3 panels on Facebook. There's 2 panels on YouTube.
Ah.
I don't know why. Let me refresh my screen. No, now I'm seeing 3. He needs to refresh his screen.
Reflush?
Okay, maybe.
Like reload
it. Tarman, reflush your screen. I bet that's not the first time you've heard that.
Well, there is a danger with our Toyota Man. There is a danger. She's hanging out with us.
There is an advantage to me being here that I can kind of do some tech stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're teaching her tech stuff. David's elderly.
I hate to get like all mushy gushy with you guys, but yeah, rutabaga got me out of bed.
That's cool. I think it's great.
You're not the first person that got out of bed for rutabagas.
What?
You're not the first person that's got out of bed for rutabagas.
That's
good.
A children's book. You're not the first person to get out of bed for rutabagas.
Yeah.
There's so many ways you could go with that.
Huh?
You should write a book called "You're Not the First Person to Get Out of Bed."
Yeah. You might be the second or third person that got out of bed for rutabagas. Then you have to go through and explain what a rutabaga is. A rutabaga, Dave, is a happy turnip.
You know that movie when they said you had me at hello?
Yeah.
You had rutabaga.
You had me at rutabaga. Yeah. The power of the rutabaga.
Are happy turnips.
I was telling Dave earlier, God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. If you don't think he does.
Like, why am I even here, guys? Why am I even?
Look at an emu. If you don't think God works in mysterious ways, look at the emu.
No, look at a platypus.
Of an emu.
A platypus.
Yes, exactly. And what's that other one? Oh, the chupacabra, Dave. The chupacabra.
Who is who? That, my
you
boy,
ignoring me?
Is chick bait.
Are you ignoring me?
You don't know her. I'm sorry. My son is talking to me. He wanted to know who he. This is not baby boy. Step over here,
Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy.
That's my son. See, he's kind of bald too. You know,
our foreheads are not the same height.
I'm kind of bald when I do my hair like this.
Yeah. He saw chick bait. He's like, "Who's that?" He didn't know who it was.
My name is Juliet. It's on my YouTube page. It's Juliet.
But her handle is chick bait. So this is my oldest boy.
Hi.
And by the way, he is super shy too, and so is his oldest daughter.
Oh, good. I have
super shy.
I'm not confident in social situations.
Yeah. He will clam up. He hates it when I call him out in a meeting. He says I put him on blast.
What's his name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, nice to meet you. I'm going to put you on blast.
Yeah.
Here's the chance for you.
It's Jeremy, and we call him Jerfry for a nickname. So
Jeffrey.
So he is a huge dog fan.
Remember that.
You like dogs?
Don't do that to you.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Favorite dog?
You know, the Georgia Bulldogs. That's his favorite dog. Ugga. You see, he's wearing his work shirt. Got the Shaw emblem going there. But he's
wait, Robert, what's your head?
That's
not the monkey farm.
So bad. Okay, but look here. You see this one on my head?
Look at Michael says, I haven't seen Jeremy since he was young.
That's his hat right there.
How old is Jeremy now?
That's his hat right there. You see it?
Yeah, look where he's got my hat. He's holding my hat hostage.
Yeah.
It's under siege down there, you know.
Robert, I'm wearing this for you.
Yeah, awesome. How old are you, Jeremy?
38.
He had to think about it. 38. He's 38.
He's at that age where you have to remember.
I thought that was me. I had to stop remember. He's at that age.
Well, you know how you elderly people are. You know how you elderly people are. It's kind of.
By the way, Jeremy is a fan of country music.
Hey, Robert, what happened to your hair?
It's not doing right.
Chickbait, I need a professional opinion here, and I think you're the person that can give me that. With that wig on, does he not look like the Tiger King dude?
Yeah,
he looks exactly like Tiger King dude.
I'm telling you, he can't.
I'm Joe Dirt.
You're not Joe Dirt, dude.
The word is, I looked it up today, Dave, the word is doppelganger.
He does. He looks just like him.
And everyone has a doppelganger, and he is the doppelganger in that wig for Tiger King.
It's Joe Exotic.
I don't have shorts on. I can't be Joe Exotic.
I don't want to see your shorts, but
we don't. None of us do.
My point
isn't it weird how he looks?
No, the hair, the face, the profile.
It's crazy. If he just had some tigers running around, he's got cats. I mean, they're in the family.
Well, yeah, if you brought a cat into here, Tiger King.
Yeah.
Oh, if I had Chuck in here, I'd grab him. He's only got one eye, though. He'd be keeping his eye on me.
Hey, Dave, thank you for putting me on tonight. I really do appreciate that I got to explain my depression and how
you're welcome.
Your rutabaga saved my life.
You rescued me from from getting more aggravated about election and everything else. So it's always good to laugh and to feel good. It's a feel good story, and we can laugh at Robert and laugh at me.
It's going to be a rough election. I know that.
It is.
I'm here to keep the peace.
Thank you. We need the. Did you ever in school my brain jumps all over the place. You know, that's part of being elderly. But when
my brain jumps part of ADHD.
It always fires different directions. But when you were in school, did you ever get to play like the person that got to escort kids close to the school? It's amazing. We did this in elementary school. You got to put on the little vest thing, and you had the little stop go sign or whatever. Did y'all have that? And you would go escort younger kids to the school. And sometimes you would play. What are you doing, Robert? You're knocking the camera everywhere. I mean, you haven't.
Okay.
What is he doing? Okay, we got to take Robert off the screen. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Robert is not good right now, so I'm sorry. I think that was not
Robert.
You didn't. I was trying to figure it out. So,
no, Dave. Once you explained to me what his condition was, I'm gonna call it out and make sure he's okay.
I did. I thought he was doing something else, but he is having. Y'all pray for him. He is having a seizure. I'm going to run a quick commercial, and I'm going to call his wife and make sure that she knows this is going on. I will be right back.
Okay.
The Southern Fried Podcast now has its own store. Go to sfplive.com/store. These links are also found on Facebook and X and some of the other social streams. You will find shirts and hats and mugs and bags and all kinds of items with many different designs. These are just but a few of the more than 250 items that we have with different designs. We hope you'll come and shop, support the podcast. Every dollar that is paid will go towards keeping the podcast growing. And we thank you for your support. sfplive.com/store. Go shop today and get that favorite person. The Southern Fried Podcast is pleased to announce our newest show called Southern Talk. We merged two shows called Manners and Mannerisms 101 into this new show that we felt would better fit our interest in talking all things Southern. So join us for Southern Talk, where we still cover all those manners and customs that we are known for in the South. But now we can expand the topics and reach of this show in a show called Southern Talk with Rob and Dave. Southern Fried Podcast News Desk, conservative and Christian news brought to you each Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be covering news that affects America and you. From politics nationally and to the state level, we will discuss topics that are breaking each week and get your input as well. Join us each week for news from a conservative and Christian outlook. God bless America and God bless you. Are you okay, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to be respectful there while we made sure. So,
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
I thought the cats were going crazy at first, and I realized what was happening. So,
I know I was like scrambling to get my phone and.
No, it's life as I know it. It's okay.
No, I'm Robert. You're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, it'll take a minute, but she's probably on the piano or in the shower.
Well, can I say one thing, guys?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Robert, thank you for letting me know about your condition. So now I can kind of react in a better fashion.
Yeah, you look, I try to make it as funny as I can.
I know, but
you gotta laugh. It's
but I care. I care. I care. It's too late. You had me at rutabaga.
Yeah, we had. Well, we try to. I try to. I knew this could be an issue. Sometimes.
Thank you, M. Toyota. Thank you.
We discussed it before we ever got on the air, and if it happens, we just drop me down.
I know, but I'm like, can I make like a proposition? I would love to be part of this to help make sure that it runs smoothly. I have time for it,
What?
What do you mean? You already are.
Yeah.
Like,
we'd love for you to come in.
Like, what happened? And I'm like, I think there's something wrong.
No, I thought, Robert's an old wrestler, so you never know. I thought maybe he's trying to wrestle move when the cat's in there.
Yeah, and see, that's something you didn't know. I used to be a pro wrestler.
No, I really thought he was trying to be Tiger King until there was no sound, and I was like, okay, maybe not.
It was a weird moment there where I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a true story. Can you hear a true story?
Excuse me.
Well, I'll tell you what, before you do your story, I mean, I'm a little bit out right now.
I'll be right back. I'm hearing you, but talk.
I'm a little bit out right now. That hurt.
I know.
I think I'm going to go lay down for a little bit. I can't.
I
can keep going, but I'm miserable right now. I'm going to have to go lay down.
I don't blame you, Robert. Robert, I care about you a lot, and I'm glad to meet you.
Good to meet you, too. Yeah, and remember, we always have rutabagas.
Always.
David, have a good night. We'll talk about what all went through tonight, tomorrow night.
Robert, just take care of yourself, okay?
Yeah. We have two shows tomorrow. Just go away. Go get rest. You're good. We're going to get off here before long. And we have the morning show, and we have front porch tomorrow. You're good. You're good.
Good night, y'all.
Take care, my friend.
All right.
So, Dave, when I started working, like in the real world, like after like 16, 17, whatever, I babysat before that,
Yeah.
yard work, but when I started to get real jobs, my first job at 18, I worked with she was a lady at a grocery store, had epilepsy,
Oh,
and I
wow.
always looked out for her, always.
Good for you. I mean, you just don't want them to hurt themselves. You got
Mhm.
just got to let it play out. It can be
Yeah.
a little alarming to people that are not used to that.
Well, a lot of
And
people wouldn't talk to her and ask her questions, and I'm like, I asked her questions because I wanted to know, how can I help?
yeah, well, when we started, the only time that I didn't even see it. I called him one day. This is way back. We were still in the forming stages of I don't even know if we had done a video yet. And I called him one day, and something was wrong. I knew something was wrong,
I
and he
mean,
was
just like
kind of like,
prayers for Robert right now, please. Prayers.
yeah, absolutely. But he said he'd had a bad one. He was in the floor when I called, and he called me right back, and that's when we set up. Hey, if this ever happens, just take me off screen. It'll run its course. I've got his wife's number. I was calling her, but I don't think she called me back. But he was up by then, so I was letting her know, and I think that she.
Well, I'm glad you let me know the other night about the episode where you just saw his feet, and I'm like, when I saw
Yeah,
it, I'm like, I told you right away,
yeah.
like something's wrong here.
Well, when he didn't respond, I knew that's what it was because we do some crazy things sometimes. So it takes a
No,
minute
I
to.
know. It
Yeah,
was kind of 50-50.
that's where I was at. Like, oh, what are you doing, dude? And I saw him just sitting there. I know. Okay, that's what it is. And those people that
Yeah.
come to streams all the time, they know.
Well,
And
maybe I'm right. Maybe God sent me here for a reason.
well, it's not. Maybe you are here for a reason. So uh, we will be talking much more. I would like for you to be. You're definitely you're just part of us now. You're stuck with us. Thank you for saying that. I won't say Tar Man because I'm used to your Rumble, but Toyota Man. It could be the Toyota Tar
Anyway,
Man.
Dave, do you control the email thing, or does Robert control
We
the
both
email?
do. We both.
I'll put my phone number in there.
Okay, we'll both see it. We're the only
Yeah.
ones that have access to the email. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I sent it already, but a lot of
I can check it. I can check it on my phone. That was the problem I had earlier. I don't ever pull it up on the
I
thing,
think I
which I
already
need to do.
sent it, but just so we can get to know each other a little bit better, and like be
Yeah,
more in touch.
we'll be in communication. Absolutely.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I love your program. I love your show.
Thank you. But I'll check it and make sure. If I don't, I think it's in there. But if it's not, I'll email you to later, and we'll get that taken care of. But
Yeah, we'll check it. Yeah.
so
But if you want me to step it up and fill in sometimes for whatever reason, I have time for that right now.
well, good. Well, I'm glad. Absolutely, I do. So Tire Man's came up. Cowboy Cook's here. Chris is laid up. He's recovering. We've talked to him, but he's not been able to be
Who's
active
Chris?
lately. And so Chris is he's the fourth member. He created all the logos and everything. Chris is a YouTube.
I
created
love the logos. By the way, I told my son, he's 23 years old. He works for the
Yeah.
health department. And he's like, I love the logos too, and the graphics are awesome.
Chris. We call him the mad. I came up with this title, the Mad Scientist. He came. Early on, it was just back and forth. We didn't know kind of what we wanted. We'd throw ideas at him, but
Yeah.
he has created some amazing stuff. That logo with the flag behind it is that
Who
he
did
actually
the song?
he did. Well, he did the song. He
He
gets
did
all
the
the
song.
credit. He did the
Chris
song.
did the song.
He's a musician. By the way, he sent me. It's an old video, and I'll have to get it up in the stream. He sent me an old video of their band playing "Pour Some Sugar on Me" at a place. I think he's playing the bass, but he can't play now. But he built a YouTube channel that has had. I mean, it still gets a lot of follows or people watching his videos. It was a gun channel, and so he's. We need to pray for him too. He's kind of his cat's missing.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
The cats took off. They've had the cat for 11 years, so he's sad about that. His wife, or he just had surgery. His wife
Yeah.
has problems, and so, but he sounded good the other day. I like
Yeah.
the Redneck Central podcast. I like that.
What? It's on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
Uh,
But hey, we've got morning show in the morning. We've got that would be my podcast, the Redneck Central podcast. That's funny.
yeah.
By the way, we're going to have John back on. We're really a couple of days past. I see him every day. John was the guy who was in prison for a good long time. He's out. He's doing good. He got into drugs real bad, but he's doing good.
I need
And
to turn down my Facebook.
okay, yeah, it's just
That's
a little bit
annoying.
of back feed. We're gonna have him on and just get an update. He's doing good though, but he talks about it about coming back on. So we see him. He's working tonight. That's the thing. We have to get him early afternoon recorded, or get him on the
Well,
weekend.
Dave, I took the semester off from school,
Yeah.
so I'd be more than happy to help you guys out.
Well, thank you. We take you up on your offer. So what are you taking in school?
I'm getting my master's degree. I got my undergrad in history, minor in psych, and then I do my master's in museum studies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I got a bachelor's in environmental health and safety. I don't think at my age I'm going to go back and get the master's, but it did help me to get a couple of promotions. And of course, I'm paying off student debt.
Yeah. That's the biggest part.
In fact, I need to send them some money tomorrow. But yeah, I'm hoping to pay off my house, and then I'm just going to triple up on that because they'll just kill you. They string you.
How
along
old are
forever.
you? Like 32, 35?
Do what?
I said, how old are you? 32, 30?
Oh, I wished. I'll be 60 next year.
I know, I was joking.
I know you are. You're funny. Yeah, I've got a granddaughter, 16 years old. So, we do need a degree in psychology around us. We do, absolutely.
I was going to get a psychology degree, but I got sucked into history because it was like way more interesting to me. But I ended up with a minor in psych.
So what do you want to do with that? Just curious. What do you want to?
I want to work on YouTube and help channels.
Okay. Well, it works. It worked. You've made it. Victory. Go ahead and do a paper on that.
The world is mine. And when I do a master's degree, I'm going to hook up with Hulk Hogan.
There you go.
And he's going to help me do he's going to help me do my thesis. Yeah.
Yeah, Tarman, you're a little older than me. I think you're.
Or Dog the Bounty Hunter. I can't decide which one is better, Hulk Hogan or Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, you got to do Dog, because with a dog you get all the posse, you get all the other characters.
Yeah, you're right. So I will do my master's degree with him on my thesis. Thank you.
Yes, that would be great, because there's just so much more you can bring in there. Leland, you got Leland.
Doing all that true crime stuff anyway.
Yeah. Do one on Southern hospitality. But the problem is that we're our gods for Southern hospitality.
Wait, and Toyota, it has to be with museum studies, like museums and historical whatever.
What's your favorite museum?
I don't think there is a Southern hospitality museum. That would be a good
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that could leverage me a lot with the people advising me.
Do you go to the museums to study them there, or do you do it online? Because when I was in school, they let me do some online. You could just go there.
Well, with COVID and stuff, I had to do like pretty much my entire degree online.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm 42 years old, so I got my degree last year, and like I finally finished my first college degree at like age 41.
Well, you know what? I mean, I was 4 years ago, 55 when I got my degree. I think, is that right?
I mean, I'm really proud of myself. I finally did it,
Absolutely. I did it for several reasons. One, I always wanted to do it, quit making excuses and go back and do it for the career and do it to show my kids and grandkids you're never too old, never give up, always improve yourself every day. Do something.
Yeah,
Grow.
no, I mean, like I had my kids early. I had my son at 19, my daughter at 24, like I was doing family stuff first. I did everything in like a weird, different order.
Yeah.
But I'm not ashamed of it, I always feel like family comes first.
Where's the Cherokee Museum at, Tarman? I don't remember. I mean, I obviously I remember there's several Civil War museums in the region, but
I mean, I
where
will
is
check
the
it out.
Cherokee?
I did an interview thing for school, like to get it on like the archives with
Yeah.
a national like indigenous person, like I did a lot of different studies, and I'm really proud of the work that I did already.
Yeah.
As an undergrad, and then I got my degree. But when I pivoted from psychology to history, it's completely different.
Well, I would say so, but there's amazing characters in history, and it takes probably a little bit of psychology to understand them because they're
I mean,
complicated
like,
human
yeah,
beings.
no, I bring a unique lens to the situation. I'm like, I wonder what George Washington was thinking that day.
The problem when we look back at history, there's a twofold problem. One is, or it's really more than two, but I think that there's two main ones. One is we tend to make them these divine beings that never did anything wrong, and that's not true. Or we denigrate them to say they were dumb and they didn't know, they did stupid stuff and all that. That's not we're all sinners. We've all done dumb stuff, and they did too. But they did great things, depending on who that person was. They might have been evil and did bad. But you use George Washington. George Washington did a lot of great things. He did a lot of the great things for the nation, but he wasn't a perfect man.
No,
He
because
was a very good man, but he's a man. He made mistakes. And we tend to make gods out of them. And we don't need to do that.
In those times, and I'm not like saying it was right, I'm just saying in those times, that's just reality. He had
you hit the nail on the head. Well, sure.
Thomas Jefferson, etc. But we can't deny history. The thing is, if you erase history, we forget what happened.
Amen, sister. Amen. When we look back, it's hard to judge. It'd be like, here we are in 2024, and we're trying to evaluate or judge somebody based on things now back in 1770, whatever. You can't do that because there were accepted practices or whatever. It didn't make them right, but they were accepted.
Like Arizona just voted out an 1864 law on whatever, look it up, but I won't get into it for the sake of the show, but like we need to keep moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, history tells us that if we don't learn from it, we're doomed to repeat it. That's for sure. Because and so we got to move forward. We can't do this endless circle and come back and do the crazy things.
Here's my one hope and wish and dream for this election cycle this year is that people aren't fighting. That we should all get along. I don't care who you're voting for. I don't want to get into it,
Well, here's the thing, and I will say this: no matter who's running, we got candidates right now, and it doesn't bother me to say I'm voting for, and why. But I want to make this point.
I know who you're voting for, but I'm not like against you at all. I'm not against you.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not against anybody. The thing that I miss. The thing that I miss is we need to have statesmen. Now that could be, when I say statesmen, that could be male or female. Statesmen who put the country ahead of themselves and who seek to unify and not push away. And you don't see that very much anymore, if at all. And
well,
you can't denigrate a whole half of society and think that you're going to unify the country. You can't do that. It's impossible. You can't do it. There are landmines, and there's people going to hate you no matter what you do, but we've got to bring the bulk of the country together and move forward.
I agree with you like 3,000%. And the reason why I'm here is because I'm trying to show you that I agree with you. And that people shouldn't fight about this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've said, and I've said it recently, that Cherokee, North Carolina. I haven't been there. I've been to Cherokee. I haven't been to the museum. I need to check that out. So what I would say is that no matter the difference in we're from each other, or how we were raised, or what our worldview is, or whatever, we're still human beings that want the same things. You want to take care of your cats. You want to have a place to live that's safe and secure. You want to be able to. We got to have food and water. We want to have those things. We want to have a safe country. We want to be kind to other people. We want people to be kind to us. Those are all universal things. I don't think, why would anybody be against those things? So we take the basis of what we all need as human beings, and whether they have a religious system or what, it doesn't matter to this point, is that we all treat each other right, and we seek to build the bridges, like I said, and move forward. And again, we're not going to agree on everything, because people are just different, and they have different views. But that don't mean that we can't be friendly. It doesn't mean we can't be great neighbors. It doesn't mean we can't be great friends, and we can move forward, and we can not tear each other apart. That's what we need to happen in the country.
I mean, like, Dave, I don't want to make you cry. I might make me cry. But like, the whole rutabaga joke is like anchored in this weird, surreal thing that happened to me coming out of like a real depression.
Sure.
And the last people I think that would help me would be people like you. No offense.
No, that's fun.
And I'm like, sometimes God sends weird messages to people, and I'm here because of that.
And I think that's awesome. Like I said, when we learn about each other, also, as well as we learn about each other, and the more we learn about each other, the more we have understanding. And then we don't focus on issues as much as we focus on the person, that we care about that person, and that we want the best and the well-being for that person. And I've said my whole life, we can agree to disagree about a lot of things, but I have friends really across all spectrums. I have friends and from those that some people probably wouldn't want to even be around, all the way to people that are, fairly influential, or, powerful, or whatever. I have friends that many different circles. And I went back, and I'm going to be doing a thing. I took some pictures. I went back to my church. They invited me back for dinner, and I want to. It's not going to be tonight.
What kind of church?
This church that I grew up in was a Baptist church, and my family actually started the church back in the 70s. And I'm gonna share some pictures about that. But there's something that happened to that church while I was there. But while I was back there for the dinner, it just sort of reminded me of. I know who I am, and I know and what I believe, and all that. But it makes it what I was experiencing that day, because I said my heart. I mean, it really touches my heart to be back. But I went upstairs, and I just sit down in the sanctuary, and I just sit there, and I just let the thoughts come to me. And I thought about a lot of stuff. And one of the things I thought about was the influences that I had in my life of really good people that some people might not like, but it doesn't matter. Those are the people that are around me, and they're good, honest, hardworking people. They're hardworking Americans. Where you're from, there are good, honest, hardworking Americans. Maybe totally different in some ways, depending on backgrounds. But that still is helps shape who you are. It helped to shape who I am, and I don't have anything to apologize for. I don't.
And you shouldn't. And Dave, and part of the fact that I like that you let me come on your platform is because I know I'm totally different in some ways. And
Which
a lot of maybe.
I really like that, though, because I think
but I'm open-minded.
Yeah.
And I like to see things that we agree with more than we disagree with.
Sure. I couldn't say it any better.
Thank you.
And that's what I think we have to have in the country is let's agree on the things we can agree on. And then be passionate about the things that are that
there's a lot.
But it doesn't mean we have to be enemies. We can still be friends.
There's a lot of people really far left who would not like me talking to people who vote for Trump, for example, or whatever they make up in their heads, right?
Sure.
And they make up things in their heads about people, about groups of people. And I'm like, that's stereotyping people. That's not healthy. It's wrong. You know, people are individuals. And we should meet people one-on-one.
Well, the one thing you have to say is you have to meet people where they are, not where you think they should be. You have to meet them where they are. And if we can't do that, you can't build friendship because you have to meet them where they are.
That was okay for me to say. I didn't want to say the T word, but you know.
No, that's good. This is the greatest mistake that sometimes happens even in churches is that people, the deplorable people, the people sometimes when we talk about judgment, people that come into a congregation of whatever the church, doesn't matter, is if you can't judge them on where you think they should be, you have to meet them where they are. And you have to build a bridge to them and be a friend to them.
My mom this year gifted me with your podcast. Like, I know it sounds surreal.
No, it's cool.
Or like, but she got me out of my depression and she came to me in my dream and I woke up and found your podcast.
Awesome. You know, I lost my best friend. I didn't have a brother at the time. I had a half brother. It was born years later. It was same age, was 3 months apart in age. His birthday was August. Mine was May, or his May. He was murdered. He was murdered at 20. We were both 21 years old. I was new. I'd just been married a short time. And we had Jeremy, which you just met, was a baby.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And that about destroyed me. It really did. I was not handling that situation very well at all. I mean, I wasn't out doing bad things. I was just internally, I was shutting down. And my wife, I was very closed back then. I would not open up and talk about stuff to people, even her. And she said, "Can you tell me?" And I said, "No, I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. I just can't." And she said, it was really words of wisdom because she said, "Okay, that's fine, but you got to do something because this is destroying you, and in the essence, it will destroy us. So you got to." And I said, "I know that. You're absolutely right. I know that." So I left that day, and she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I got a couple of stops to make." She said, "That's fine." I was gone for a while, and I went, and I was able to make that. It was really amazing in an afternoon that I was able to release that and was able to get on with my life. Because what I was really doing was I was trying to live in the past, and I felt guilty about. There were several things I felt guilty about, and it was many. It was emotional, it was spiritual, it was a lot of different things, and I wasn't handling it very well. And I decided that day, because I got a wife, I got a son, I got to move on. I've got to be among the living. I can't. I'm not a person to go to a cemetery, and I will visit cemeteries and take flowers and all that. Take care of everything, but I'm not going to live there. I'm not going to live there spiritually or mentally or emotionally. I've got to be among the living and appreciate the gift of God of putting people in my life.
Thank you for saying that. Be among the living, because a lot of men were taught growing up to not have emotions and stuff like that, and that has been harmful to men, in my opinion.
Without a doubt.
You need to feel your feelings no matter what they come out as. And honest to God, I am so grateful to find your channel.
Amen. Well, amen. We'll give him the glory.
Woke me up out of like some weird coma. I was going through such severe depression. I was like, honest to God, I was, even this past weekend, I was crying 2 days in a row. And like, I'm just still getting out of it. And then, I even told my son about your podcast. Like I'm telling people like, this is helping me. I don't know why.
It's the rutabaga. It's the power of the rutabaga.
I'm like, please don't ask me why it's helping me, but it's helping me. And I'm like,
yeah, they probably watch it and go, and how is this helping you? These guys are crazy.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. But the point was like, you were so accepting, welcoming, and nice and kind.
We want to be that.
And all the things that I needed you guys brought to me. So that's why I'm here. And
Well,
I don't
awesome.
care if that's
Awesome.
cheesy.
No, it's not. No, it's great. It's wonderful to hear. We do have to get off here tonight. I do
Me
have
too.
to work
I
in the morning.
things to do.
Keep Robert in your thoughts and prayers. He hopefully be good tomorrow. We have
But
our
Dave,
morning show.
I'll play backup for you whenever you want.
Thank you. We do have our morning show in the morning at 6 a.m. The SFP morning show, 6 a.m. to 7. Tomorrow night is Front Porch. It'll go about as long as this show because we're closing it on 3. Actually, we went over 3 hours because the first part of the live got messed up. Yes, the Chief Van House in Chatsworth. And I've never been to that. Shame on me. I need to go.
And Guy, everybody was watching that I didn't comment to.
Yeah. And I do want to go back and research this Eisenhower thing and appreciate what was his he was
Hey Dave, do you want me to do some research on Eisenhower? Because I'm a really good researcher.
Yes, I would like definitely would love that. Dark Sage, thank you for coming in the stream tonight and commenting. We're gonna look into this. We'll do a little section about Eisenhower.
Well, I
we
sent
need
you
to
in my email my info, so just go find it.
Got it. I'll take care of that tonight.
Yeah.
Good night, Tower Man. Good night, Daniel. Don't know if you're still there. All the people in the stream, wherever you're coming from. And good night, Chickbait. And good night, Cats. And I forget their name. Was it Steve and?
I'm Steve and Chad.
Steve and Chad. So I've almost got them now. I feel like I'm part of the fam now.
You are.
All right. Well, thank you. Good night, Chickbait. We will.
It's on me.
Let me do the closeout here, and let me find that, and then we'll give you some closing thoughts, Chickbait, after we get out of the stream. So, she already left. We'll talk to her as we have that contact info. She's amazing. That was amazing tonight. What a range of stuff going on, a range of emotions and stuff. That's awesome. God is good every day. So, see you in the morning, 6 a.m. We got all kinds of programming coming this weekend. I've got a sermon that I gave. I'm going to put up. I have a church I'm going to highlight, not my own. I'm going to highlight another church through a friend. We may post a sermon off of that church. That may come out over the weekend as well. Robert's got some things he wants to highlight, so we're going to talk about in the morning. We'll have our weird city to do a weird name city, not weird city, but weird name city to do a shout out to. We will talk about Robert's trip to the town hall. We're also going to talk about him holding my hat hostage. We're going to make sure he's okay. Remember him in your prayers. And we're going to explore this Mark Robinson story, Lieutenant Governor, North Carolina. We're going to see what the morning brings on that. That's breaking news. And so pray for the elections, pray for our country. Go watch the election video that we did. It was about an hour. It was great. I think so. And she didn't want to be on camera, so you're not looking at her, but you'll hear her and you'll see us. So go give that a view. Visit if you're in the Decatur area, visit Angie's Diner, Angie's Decatur Diner. We want to keep giving a shout out, and the bookstore in Trenton, Georgia. We've not done an ad with them yet, but we're hoping to do that. And their business has perked up a little bit. Going to try to get over there and buy a couple of books too. So we definitely got a lot of things cooking. Good night, all. Have a great night. God bless.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seats. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast.